run. Nice, beautiful run. And a little 360 to boot, keep all the way around to the
Power
line.
down, let that
360,
engine sing,
beautifully
baby.
done.
Welcome back, everyone. Oversteer Grand Prix brings us all the way to Ireland for round 4. Here at Mondello, we expect a forecast of clear skies, a little bit of sunshine, but a whole lot of tire smoke.
Sound waves reaching the microphone are changed into impulses of electric current.
No need to worry about your pre-recorded music tapes being accidentally erased. It can't happen.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see ourselves a new leader.
The theme is
To round 5 of Oversteer Grand Prix. We are back here at Englishtown for top 32 battles. We had a very eventful qualifying yesterday with a lot of high scores and a lot of flashy runs. As we take a look at the standings and kind of what went down last night, Anthony Taylor, top qualifier with a 98.1. Younger Mirren coming in at second with a 91 and being able to hold that for a long time through qualifying. Lester coming in, rounding out the podium with a 90-point run, as well as Chillmate with the same 90-point run, but unable to get a better second run there. ELD Jason, Drake, and Matthias all able to get into those top 80s, and all of those drivers will be receiving a first round bye today. But I'm always joined by my beautiful co-host, Strep. How are you?
Doing all right. Hopefully, not going to have to battle any of the technical difficulties today. But as it is, we are in OGP, so I'm sure that we will be experiencing quite a few of those. But very excited. We got a lot of drivers who are very, very talented in the 32 battles already before we even get onto the 16. So we've got some pretty good stuff lined up for us right out of the gate. Of course, we do have a couple of buy runs going on here. For example, we got Anthony Taylor. Young Remeron is going to be getting a buy run there. I know Lester is going to be taking one of those. Drake. Also, EOD Jason getting a buy run. Chillmate getting a buy run. So I believe we have 6 in total today, which, sometimes it's just how it goes. But we do have some pretty good battles lined up for us already. I know one of the ones that I'm very excited to see coming up at us is right out of the gate going to be Blake March and Ireal of Kinetik. Both of those guys, in my opinion, they're very similar with their capability behind the wheel. So I'm very excited to see how that battle is going to go. And honestly, one of the ones that I'm really keeping my eye on right now is Dominic Moya and Advenus going to be taking each other on in the 32 here. Two guys who are very, very well known, very, very talented drivers. But that's not all either, because we've also got battles like Ghost and Devin going on. 2 more very good drivers going head to head here. So just a lot of exciting battles, and I'm so ready to watch these guys party and throw down for the win.
Oh, absolutely. And you said it, Kinetik having an absolute field day with qualifying with a lot of high scores, but no higher than the man himself, Anthony Taylor, at the line, already lined up, ready to go for his buy run. And he's going to show us why he's the best, standing tall in first place in the standings, and show off a flashy display here, hopefully.
Yeah, we'll have to sit back once he's on his way and just let everybody hear the joys of this car, so long as the audio works with us today. I know we had some issues with it, so we'll try it now as Anthony Taylor on his way for his buy run.
And how about that? Anthony Taylor showing what he can do early, and definitely shown why he is the #1 qualifier and the biggest threat to everyone here today. As we have our next battle, and you're saying this is a big one to watch straight out of the gate, Blake March and Ireal. Ireal giving chase in that E36. Blake March in that RPS 13.5.
Yeah, very excited for this one. Blake March was one of the guys that everybody was having their eyes on during the qualifying session. He always comes out strong, and Ireal in that chase position in the E36, coming out and putting on a show as well, getting a nearly identical run to one of his teammates. But here we go, they're on their way.
Blake March firing it in. Ireal not exactly matching the same angle, but able to keep proximity, but he's having to claw it back here in outside zone 2. Blake March laying down a solid, smooth lead line here, giving Ireal every opportunity to get to his door, but struggling as he starts to get there at the end of the run. But Blake March really laying it down early.
Yeah, it looks like, unfortunately for Ireal, a couple of mistakes there in the chase position. However, one of the things that we always hit on every time we get to our top 32 battles and onwards, the battle is never over until the bell is rung. So we're going to switch them around now. It's going to be Ireal to lead out Blake March. And looks like Ireal now going and initiating on in there. Looks like Blake March almost stalled there. So not too sure. But as Ireal out in the lead position now, going to be dropping a tire. Blake March right there on his door, getting back into the proximity now after whatever that little weird fumble was at the start of the run as they transition over to the last outside zone. And now Ireal seems to get that car right back into the position it needs to be, but Blake March right there present the entire time. And I don't know if that's going to be enough to be a one more time. I think there's probably going to be a decision here.
We'll definitely have to see as we take it to the judges' sliders. But yeah, certainly a weird bobble there at the start. Looks like there's a little bit of hesitation. I know that Blake March kind of had a little bit of a slow start there off of the light I think he just came in a little too hot. Nyrill's taking a little bit of a more smoother approach. But Blake March able to claw back and get settled in with that little bit of a mistake from Iriel, but we'll see what the judges think.
As we wait to hear from the judges on their decision here. Nice little thing to talk about. The judging view here did get revamped, so shout out to our production guy Kyle for revamping everything, making it all look good and sweet for us here.
Always snazzy, always looking sharp. He always makes sure we have the best production possible, and we always applaud his amazing work. But we got all three in. We got one for Blake, 2 and 3. Blake March going to be moving on to top 16. Iriel, unfortunately, just had too many mistakes out of the gate. But Blake March able to capitalize and persevere. As we'll get our next battle rolling around and up to the line. I believe we'll be seeing Hard Luck, Dalton Thomas from Team Hard Luck take on Slammed from Team Lock to Lock. Slam qualifying 8th in that JZX. Not a bad qualifying at all for him. Able to come across with a 87-point run. He was involved in that 3-way tie we had there in the final group, which was certainly entertaining. But we got them up to the line. They're all ready to go. Slammed in the lead. Dalton going to be giving chase here. And those beautiful liveries done by our very own Strep over at Kinetik Kreations. Always making these cars look sharp on track, but we're ready to go here. White light flashes, and they're off. Slam firing out of the gate, leaving Dalton in the dust. What's he gonna do? He comes in real sharp, but Slam, contact through transition is gonna send Slam straightening up his car, but he gets it reinitiated and he's still going. Dalton still trying to claw back, but I think the damage has already been done. Dalton just coming in a little too hot there, trying to get back and sacrificing all that zone. And we might have a possible rerun. The judges were not ready. Very unfortunate, but we'll get these guys some fresh shoes on their car. We'll get them back around. And a sigh of relief there for Dalton, don't you think there, Strep?
Yeah, sorry. Ironically enough, I believe the judges weren't ready to go because I was actually in the background having a word with them quick. Just trying to make sure that we are aware of what the rulebook is so that nothing wrong is said on the stream here and that we don't contradict them. But yeah, no, unfortunately the judges were not ready there, so a little bit of confusion going on for the sending. And we're going to get a little bit of a re-rack here, so maybe a blessing in disguise. We'll have to see what happens. These guys are now going to be on some fresh tires. And we'll have to see what they are capable of throwing down here.
Indeed, as we get the light rearranged there a little bit, better seated within those cones. As I think we'll be ready to go here in a bit. The drivers lined back up. Oh, and Dalton Thomas rolling.
Yeah, it looks like maybe a false start, or maybe we might be having an issue with the lights going on here.
Maybe. I'd be interested to see here. It looks like one of the drivers needed a countdown there, was unable to see the light, but we got him fired off now. Dalton with a lot better start, and that kind of explains the first happened there, but he pushes him way off track. That's going to push him off, I think, 3 tires, almost 4. But massive mistake again there from Dalton. Coming in way too hot, but he's sitting with Slammed right there with him. But another contact through transition is going to send him into the wall. Major mistakes there in the chase. It seemed like
definitely
a
not what you
blessing.
want to see, that's for sure. I guess that blessing in the sky has really turned into a little bit of a curse. Honestly, it was originally looking like maybe something to review on Slammed in the first portion of that contact, but then I think that Dalton kind of sealed the deal with that second hit a little bit. Pretty hard to write that one off. So, but now here we go. We've got Dalton Thomas now to lead out Slammed. As Slam chases him down in the big body, Dalton Thomas initiating in. Very clean on the start this time around. No contact present, and I think Slam knows what he needs to do in order to probably get the win here as they bring it around outside zone number 2. A very good lead going on from Dalton Thomas right now. So nothing to write off at all, and continues to do so as he makes it through outside zone 3. But unfortunately, I think that second contact with Slam is going to be all she wrote for Dalton Thomas there.
That's very unfortunate. Really throwing down a great lead run there. But Chase able to stick with him. Give him that opportunity for a great chase. And we'll see what the judges think as they deliberate on their decision. Will it be Dalton Thomas in the E46 or Slammed in the JZX, the big body boat life vehicle? Always sharp looking, nice body kit on that car. Each car very beautiful and unique in their own way, but we all got all 3. 1 vote for Slammed. We got 2, and 3's going to seal the deal. Slammed moving on. Team Lock to Lock Camp happy with that result. Very unfortunate for Dalton. Those mistakes in the lead, fortunately doing them in, but a great lead run. Would have loved to see what would happen if he would be able to clean that up. But we will be moving on to our next battle of our first group, and we'll be wrapping things up there. But we got Devin versus Ghosts from Team STB. Ghosts in the lead in that S14. Devin giving chase in the E36. We'll see what they can do.
Yeah, Ghost has been throwing down some pretty good runs in practice. I got a couple of laps in with him in last night on this track. So very excited to see what he's capable of doing here. And it is looking like we are having a very bad issue with the lights going on here.
Hopefully we can get that. There we go. Hopefully we'll get that cleaned up throughout the night. But as we get things initiated here, nice entry from Ghost, nice angle. But Devin right there with him, fires into outside zone 2, backs off just a little bit, having to close up a little bit of that ground, but Ghost doing a great job here, filling outside zone 2 very well. Not really paying the line, but goes a tire off, but able to get it back on track and not choke up Devin too bad. He was right there with him. But overall, not a bad start to this battle.
Yeah, not too bad at all. Now we're going to have to switch them around here and see what happens on the second half. As the lights are on and both drivers are through the start gate by the looks of things, Ghost now to chase down Devin. Devin with a nice big flick into that initiation. Ghost not putting the car correctly in the pocket right away, but it looks like coming into outside zone 2, going to correct that. And maybe a little bit of a stall up there on the momentum in the chase, but Devin out in the lead. Putting on a very good run right this second. Keeping the car exactly where it's got to go, leaving all the opportunity for Ghost to get on his door. But maybe a little bit of a shortcoming there from Ghost in the chase.
Yeah, it seemed like Ghost was struggling to position his car too terribly well. He had the aggressiveness, you could see it. He wanted to get onto that door, and he was carrying that very well through the end of outside zone 2, going into that inner clip. But unfortunately, just not able to get that car set up. But we'll see how the judges think, or what the judges think, as we start to get some entries in here. STB, another team that was had a nice qualifying yesterday.
Judges are having a look here, just making sure that what they're seeing is what is going on. And say, do have the replays to review, and the call is in. That's going to be 2 for Ghosts, and all 3 judges unanimously. Ghost is going to be getting the win and advancing on to the top 16.
Ghost really driving hard there. Was able to eke out that win. Had a great lead run. We'll have to see if he can't clean up a few of those mistakes he had in there with some celebratory burnouts there as they make their way back around. But we'll get our next group coming in here. They'll get their practice laps rolling. But so far, looking pretty good, don't you think?
Yeah, so far so good. We've had a couple of pretty good battles on the board here. Of course, in typical OGP fashion, we've had a couple of technical difficulties with the light already, but nothing that I'm too surprised to see. So we'll have to get the next group loaded up and ready to rock and roll. Probably cut to a commercial here. Check back in with you when we're ready to go.
We'll be right back. We'll cut to a quick commercial and we'll continue top 32 action when we come back. Slam limiter down the hill. Exactly what he's known for. Nice run, nice, beautiful run. And 360 to keep it away around. Power down, that engine sing, beautifully done.
Welcome back, everyone. Oversteer Grand Prix brings us all the way to Ireland for round 4. Here at Mondello, we expect a forecast of clear skies, a little bit of sunshine, but a whole lot of tire smoke.
Sound waves reaching the microphone are changed into impulses of electric current.
No need to worry about your pre-recorded music tapes being accidentally erased. It can't happen.
Be surprised if we see ourselves a new leader.
The theme is
Hello and welcome back. We are back from commercial and here with more top 32 action. We'll take a look at our previous winners and see what we got in store here next. But Anthony Taylor had that first buy run, able to just get a nice easy breeze onto top 16. But Blake March able to get the win and move on through, as well as slammed an STB Ghost with a very close battle on that front. But as we get into our next group here, Strep, how are these next battles looking?
Yeah, we've got a couple of pretty good battles coming our way here. One of the ones that we talked about earlier, Dominic Moya and Advenus going to be going head-to-head here. Very excited about that, honestly. These guys were throwing down really hard, not only in our comp, but also in quite a few other ones as well. And also got Dustin going up against Matt Spies. So Snipes, Spies, Sipes, whatever you feel like calling him today, Vroom, it's all you. But he'll be going to take on Dustin in the top 32. And then we've got 2 buy runs. So Chill and Jason both going to be taking their buy runs. We'll be able to lay back and listen to the cars as they go around the track for that.
And they'll definitely put on a show. 2 great drivers showed it all off during qualifying and able to put down a top score and getting rewarded with a nice easy trip to step closer to that top spot on the podium. But we'll allow these drivers to get the rest of their battles on through. Finish up their laps, and then we'll get, I believe, Chillmate up to the line for his first buy run. And what are you looking here, Strep, from your own driver?
Honestly, one of the things that I've been trying to drill into this kid's head ever since he's been chasing the Assetto World stuff, just no safe runs. Go out there, lay it all out on the board. If you go out there and throw down, then you're gonna probably do a lot better than if you try to play it safe. So, what's better than packing it up and going home is taking it all the way. So full send or no send, and that's exactly what I'm expecting from him here.
Wise words from a great man. We'll see if he puts it on display here for his buy run and put it absolutely to the wall, as we'll get things rolling and wait the light. Chillmate rocking that ever so sleek S14. You can hear it coming from a mile away. It's a very loud car. We'll let you guys listen in and listen to that motor sing around Englishtown.
Yeah, and just like I was saying, with Chill, you just got to go out there, lay it all down, show what you can do out there, and that's exactly what he did. So obviously with it being a buy run, we're going to see him in top 16 competition, and then we'll get to see him battle it out. Next up, though, we got to find out who he's going to be battling against here.
Indeed, as we'll see those sliders slide over to the left for Chillmate to advance on through, but battle you've been hyping here for a while, Dominic Moya versus Advenus. 2 great drivers, very talented. We'll see what kind of display they can throw down. Dominic Moya going to be leading in that E92, not a extremely popular car, but a beautiful car nonetheless. And Advenus driving for Team Lock to Lock in that RPS 13.5. We got them both lined up. They're ready to go. Advenus got the lights on, and we await the light. Here we go. Dominic Moya firing out of the gate, but Advenus right there initiating right with him. Dominic Moya not really filling outside zone 1 fully, but Advenus, little tap there on the front wheel, but not letting up right there, glued to the door around that inner clip. Nice and tight to that pylon, slinging it into outside zone 3, but Dominic Moya, what a lead run, but Advenus not letting him get away.
Yeah, Venus keeping it right onto the side of him throughout that run there. Obviously, there were a couple of slight issues that could be improved upon there. Maybe something that he can take advantage of in the lead position. But we're going to get them re-racked up here in the opposite position, send them, and we'll see what happens. So it'll now be Dominic chasing down Venus here. As Venus goes ahead and initiates in it. Oh, contact from Dominic Moya in the chase, and he also collects himself in that wall. So unfortunately, that's going to be a full incomplete on this run for Dominic Moya. All that Venus really needs to do now is finish out this run, and he's pretty much guaranteed to win.
And he does just that with a little 360 flare at the end of it, and Dominic following suit there with one of his own. But very unfortunate there for Dominic, just throwing it a little too far back and collecting himself in that wall. But Advenus, getting that speed he's ever so known for, shown that on display there. After having what was a pretty rough qualifying, only amounted to 20th place, not very characteristic for him, but he's going to get all the judges on his side for this one as he advances on to top 16. As I believe we'll get our next driver up here for his buy run. Jason from Team EOD. Absolutely throwing it down, able to get into the top 5.
And we are getting word from the production team to answer the question going on in chat there. Replay cams just giving us a little bit of an issue right now. They should be up and running, hopefully, as long as everything goes well after this buy run. So we just got to get EOD Jason up to the line. He's waiting in the wing right now, just outside of the burnout box. Not too sure what he's waiting for. But Jason, if you can hear me, get to the line, buddy.
Yes, we got to first see our our last battle leave the scene. I think that's kind of just what he's mostly waiting on. I'd be interested to kind of see what's going on. But we'll get this situation handled. That just gives us a little more time to figure out what's going on with our replays and get that back going for you guys. But while we are waiting on that, let's take a look at a few of the battles we have coming up here. We're going to see after EOD Jason, we'll see Dustin and Matty Spies. Matty Spies, a new addition to Team Lock the Lock. We'll see what he can do for his OGP debut with the team. And we'll see Young Ramiran with his buy run with that ever so impressive run. Then we'll see Travis Dawson, Miles, and a few others. But we got EOD Jason. We got everything figured out. He's up to the line. We're ready to go. Up to the line in that hashtag boat life JZX. We'll see what he can put down here. As we'll let you listen in to that motor sing.
Not a bad buy run.
Not at all. Definitely showing off what he can do, as we'll take it to the judges' sliders. It should be a pretty easy call for him.
I think the bye gets the win here.
You think so? A little
think
sleeper
so.
pick?
I think that bye is my pick to win the whole round right this second. He's got so many
man.
battles in the top 32. Bye gets to run 6 different times before the top 16. Surely he can win one of those battles.
Bound to get one, but we'll have to wait and see. There seems like they're trying to look at Bye's chase and measure how much angle he was matching as we wait that final judge to get his input. As we got our next battle already up to the line, an all E36 battle. But there it is, 1 vote, 2 vote. It's going to be unanimous. Jason moves on.
Bye gets the win.
By the people's champion. Heartbreak here at Englishtown. But
Don't worry.
Our next battle.
He's got another battle yet, so it's okay.
He does have a few more chances. We'll see if he can complete that underdog story. But we got Dustin from Team Concept in that red, white, and black E36, and Maddie in the chase with that grayscale livery. White light flashes, away we go. What can these two drivers do? They get initiated in nice and tight to that wall. Dustin, nice transition. And oh no. Looks like we have a little bit of an issue, but Dustin doing a great job here in the lead. It's Maddie keeping good proximity around OZ3. But a good chase from Maddie nonetheless. Dustin giving him a great lead run to follow.
Yeah, unfortunately, our production team, as always in OGP, had a little bit of a failure there. But luckily, the judges were all still in there, so the judges got to see what went on. Believe that they're probably going to just keep going at this point by the looks of things, as both drivers are now in the other lanes.
Indeed, we got them flipped around. Believe we're all ready to go. So we're still having just a few more issues that we're going to just figure out here before we get moving on. Just bear with us, please, as we get these gremlins sorted and in their respective places. And unfortunately, it looks like our replay system is tanking the computes. So unfortunately, we'll have to kind of troubleshoot that throughout the night, and hopefully we may be able to get that going. But Maddie in the lead here. Dustin.
Okay, wasn't sure if you were going to be passing the microphone back over to me or not.
Sorry.
Here. So we've got Dustin in the chase now, with Maddie out in the lead position here. 2 E36s going head-to-head here. And both of these guys very comparable with some of the spots on their runs here. Now, I will say right there, you did just watch Dustin fall back a little bit in that last outside zone. So we'll have to see what the judges think about that. Not too many mistakes between the two of them here. So we'll have to see, obviously, what the judges saw is what the judges saw. Fortunately, you guys on stream watching at home did not see it because of the issues that we ran into. We'll see what the judges got to say about that.
Indeed, a little bit of a blind battle, but we got everything sorted out as we await the judge's decision. Our first duplicate battle, I believe, of the night. Both drivers sharing that E36, a very popular car in the pack, used by many.
Yeah, we'll have
Personally,
to see how
a
well
car-
that pick holds up going into the new stuff that we've got cooking up for season 2.
Oh yeah, big news on the way out for that. for our new version.
And we love to tease.
Love to tease. But I'm certainly excited. I know all of us here at OGP are excited, and we hope you guys will be too as we cook that behind the scenes. As we start to get a few entries here, we got one in. As we get a few more, and we'll get a decision here between Maddie Spies and Dustin, who will be moving on to top 16 as we close out our second group. All three votes in. One for one more time. We got two. Is it going to be unanimous? Yes, we're going to get a one more time battle between these two. Judges looking, pulling straws, couldn't come down to a decision, but a good chance for the fans to be able to see this battle again.
Yes, we'll get him on some fresh tires, bring him back up to the line here, switch him around once more, and we'll get them going again. And just hit on something that's mentioned in chat. You had to be there to know what's going on. I will say Thomas was the first one to get a little bit crazy after some influence from some other staff members, but that's not the only thing that happened last night. And what happens in staff chat stays in staff chat, fellas.
Exactly. We're not going to put all of our secrets out there. But we got the drivers back up to the line, fresh shoes, ready to go. Dustin back in the lead. Matt in the chase. They fire out of the gate, ready to go. Initiating in, Matty getting aggressive, trying to get to his door early. As Dustin trying to get it back onto track, dropping a little bit of a tire there, but Matty getting into that pocket, maybe a little bit too deep, has to back off for that inner clip. Dustin doing a great job filling outside zone 2 or 3, sorry, but Matty right there at the end.
Oh, there we go. Microphone giving me more technical difficulties right this second. But yeah, no, definitely a very good run there. Very similar in some ways to the first run that we saw today, but now we're going to switch them around. It's going to be Matty now to lead out Dustin in the chase position. As we go ahead, we get that initiation in there. Very clean on the initiation. Bit of a 1.5 car gap formed right out of the gate. Going to have to see if Dustin can close it up through the outside zone number 2, and he starts to. Oh my goodness, and there goes Matty into the wall. That is not the kind of gap that we were talking about closing. We wanted to see Dustin close the gap behind Matty, but unfortunately Matty going to close the gap, and he's going to keep it a little bit friendly with that wall. So looks like we are going to get to see the replays this time, fellas. They are working.
How about that?
And see what went on then.
Yeah, Matty just getting too far out there. First victim of the wall coming out of outside zone 2 of the night. But let's get a round of applause for our camera guy, Kyle. Able to get us the best production possible and get our replays working again. But very unfortunate for Matty. Had a great run looking there. Was able to give a good lead run for a good chase. Unfortunately, just getting out to that wall. But we'll get the judges' decisions on through. But they definitely made it a little bit easier for him in this one more time battle.
Yeah, and there goes the judges' decisions. I think we all kind of saw this one coming. Dustin unanimously going to be advancing on to the top 16, as unfortunately Matty going to be advancing on into the afterlife after that really hard hit with that concrete wall, man. That's not fun whatsoever. And yeah, so hopefully the ambulance on track taking care of him, but he might be long gone. So Dustin moves on, and we'll move on to the next group, I believe, or do we still have another run here? Next group. Alrighty. So we'll go ahead, get the next group locked and loaded, and we'll be right back to you guys after this.
Slam limiter down the hill. Exactly what he's known for. Identical. Nice run, nice, beautiful run. And a little 360 to keep it all the way around to the power down, letting that engine sing. Beautifully done.
Welcome
reaching the microphone are changed into impulses of electric current.
No need to worry about your pre-recorded music tapes being accidentally erased. It can't happen.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see ourselves a new leader.
The theme is
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, at round 5 of the Oversteer Grand Prix Season 1 here at Englishtown, New Jersey. As we take a look at our sponsors here, Kinetik Kreations did the livery designs. We got Drake Drifts, Augie Customs, and the Lock to Lock guys, all helping us out with some of the maps that we've got going on. Of course, speaking of which, Joka Designs doing this map here. Vosan, as well as Gripped Up, two of the companies that host our mods for us here at the Oversteer Grand Prix. ESDA, our title partner. We are technically considered a feeder series for their spring, actually I guess we're on to the summer now by this time, open and major events, depending on where you place in certain events in the season. Of course, also Grip Royal, we got them helping us out with the steering wheel for our first place in the championship points. And X3 Autosports for making all of this possible behind the production team. As we take a look at the bracket going into this group here, right out of the gate, we're going to be having Young to take on that buy run, immediately followed up by another Kinetik driver, Travis Dawson, taking on Miles. Then we've got the Brazilian, Matheus Matos. Ironically enough, also a buy run there that I did miss out on earlier because Will Vosan is not available to be here. He is at work. Will not be present. And then we're going to have TDR Keith to take on Chris to round out the next group here. So a couple of buy runs going on, couple of battles. Let's see what goes on. Maybe we'll see Bai finally take that win. But now we're going to go ahead and get ready to see the first battle of group number 3.
Indeed, we'll allow our drivers to finish up their practice runs, and then we'll see Young, who's already made his way up to the line. Look at him being proactive, ready to throw down against the always infamous, notorious underdog by himself. And here we go, white light flashes. And Young slowly out of the gate. We'll let you enjoy this run.
Oh, and he did it. He did the thing.
Man.
He did the thing.
He did the thing. He did the thing. A little 360 and another one to
Oh,
boot.
he got
How about
another one.
that? Throwing it down. How about that?
Giving us a little bit of style here.
Yeah.
Making sure that Bai doesn't take the win from him.
Really doing everything he can, pulling out all the stops. Let him hear you in the chat. Throwing it down for you guys at home. But that will be an easy win for Young. Bai, unfortunately, falling once more.
Yeah, Bai not really able to do anything behind that 360. Nothing stylish to match what we saw from Young there with the double whammy. But now we'll move on to our next battle here, which I believe will be should be Legacy in the lead with Miles chasing him down here.
Indeed,
Miles at the line, eagerly revving his engine. He's ready to go.
Oh, he's chomping at the bit in this all S chassis battle. Got Legacy in the S13, Miles in the S14 giving chase. Chomping at the bit, ready to go here. Waiting on the light, we're all ready to go. First official battle of this group. Out of the gate, here we go. Firing in nice and smooth. Not too bad there from Legacy. Miles slowly sneaking his way to the door through outside zone 2, and he's right there in the pocket. Through the inner clip, nice and tight to the pylon. Legacy doing a great job here in the lead in outside zone 3. How about that for a first run?
Yeah, not bad at all from either of these drivers. One of the things I do want to make a note of here is I believe we should be seeing the replay come up potentially, maybe not. Not sure how the replay system's working right now, but coming around outside zone number 2, there was a portion where we unfortunately had, the run's going. I was not ready for the run to go yet. Legacy now in the chase position with Miles out in the lead now. Legacy matching pretty well to what Miles did, but maybe a little bit further back here. Let's see if he's able to catch up going into the last outside zone, and he does just that. Sneaks it right up onto the door of Miles, and Miles throws a 360 but gets absolutely smacked.
Oh man. As we'll take a look at the replay here after all the battles have concluded. But very interesting, very good, decent runs from both drivers, doing a great job in the lead there. Really able to get out to all those zones, filling them. But I think it's really going to come down to each driver's chase run. It's kind of where we're going to see take the win. As we take it to the judges' sliders and await their decision, as they're going to have to probably deliberate on this one for a while.
Yeah, I will say I saw some pluses and minuses to both of these guys' lead runs. Same thing with the chase. I got to be honest, if I was in the judges' seat, I'd be going one more time right here, not going to lie. That was a very close battle. I could definitely see it going once again, but maybe the judges see something that one of these guys did better than the other. I know there was a little bit less proximity in the chase there from Travis Dawson. However, in Travis's lead, it looked like he might have actually filled the zones out a little bit better than what we saw from Miles. So we'll have to see what exactly goes on here.
We will just have to wait and see, as we are just awaiting that final decision And we'll see who's going to be moving on. Will we see another one more time? Possibly, as we get one vote for Miles. 2, he's going to be moving on. A little bit of a split decision there. One of the judges agreeing with you there, Strep. But 2 votes for Miles. Majority rules.
Yeah, honestly, that was a very, very close battle.
As we'll see, I believe Matthias will be making his way to the line for his buy run. Once again, Will, unfortunately, not being able to make it today. But a new look continuing as he had to switch out his car for qualifying. The S13 giving him a little bit of trouble. But we'll be seeing him in the S14 as he rounds the corner up to the start gate. New look, but still as flashy as ever. Really throwing down a great qualifying run. Unfazed by the new car, able to qualify 7th. And able to get a little cheeky buy run for himself. But buy, as we've seen, we'll have to see if he can start adding on a little more style to these runs. Hopefully be able to take a win. But Matthias, no stranger to style. As we await the light for this battle. Oh, a little bit of a jump start there from Matthias. But going on nonetheless.
Yeah, nothing that Will Vosan can do in the chase position here to keep up with him. In fact, he's so far behind, he didn't even make it to the track today. So we're going to see the Brazilian driver here make it all the way over to that finish line now. And he's going to be advancing on to our top 16.
Very nice, clean run with a little 360 there at the end to boot. We'll see what the judges think. Did he do enough to get the win over Bai? Bai getting better and better with each run, starting to give these drivers a little bit of a challenge. And it's getting entertaining. But we will see as we get 1 vote, 2 votes. It's probably going to be fully unanimous. There we are. Matthias moving on. As I believe, unfortunately, that will be the last battle for Bai. Unable to eke out a win here at E-Town.
In this group.
In this group, yes. Oh, yeah, I forgot. We have a whole nother group.
We have a whole nother group yet to go.
He's gonna he's gonna have 2 more chances to maybe sneak out a win. We'll have to see. But who's gonna take this win? As we got Keith from Team TDR going up against our very own Chris in that S14 in the chase. We'll see who can take it here at E-Town.
Yeah, Chief Keef going to be leading out Chris Griffin right now. Fantasy battle in the making right here.
Can you believe it, folks? Get on your feet. Once in a lifetime as they fire on through to outside zone 1. Oh, massive angle is going to slow Keef way down, but Chris able to be reactive there and avoid getting into the side of his door. Coming around outside zone 2, Chris settling into that pocket. Keith opening up the door for him to get him there. But good finish to that run there after a little bit of a shaky start.
Yeah, a couple of issues going on at the start there. It seems like maybe just not comfortable with their pair. Maybe I don't... Actually, thinking back, I don't know if these guys got any practice together. This might actually be the first time that they're driving this track against one another. Maybe not expecting some moves in the chase position. Maybe not expecting the chase position to be where he is. But we're going to flip him around now. We'll have Keith chasing down Chris. We'll see what they're capable of here in the other side of the battle. Here we go. Lights are on. Chris in the lead. Keith in the chase position now. Chris with a very straight line initiation there and flicks it into angle, but it looks like it does slow his momentum down a little bit there. And Keith having to compensate, getting back into the pocket finally. Chris, however, a little bit wavery throughout this entire zone and a major correction there as he almost over angles that S14 in outside zone number 2. It looks like he gets it all resolved for outside zone number 3, and both these guys are across the line. A little bit of contact there, a little bit of a nose to nose, but that's all right. It was after the finish. So yeah, looks like a couple mistakes on both sides here. Not gonna lie, I'd be curious to see how the judges feel about this entire battle.
Indeed, as we'll just take it straight to the judges' sliders, as we had a little bit of an issue with that past replay. But Chris, on a few, as you're noting, a few mistakes there in the lead, unable to allow Keith to really get to his door comfortably. But we'll see what the judges think as
Yeah,
we
one of the
await
biggest things
their
is that you
input.
need a good lead for a good chase. And to be honest with you, I don't really feel that Keith got a very good one.
Indeed, I have to agree. Chris, especially coming out of outside zone 2, you kind of saw that waveriness as he had a practically straight line shoot for that inside clip as he just unfortunately over angled coming out of that zone. But we're starting to get a few answers in here, awaiting that final judge decision. And we'll see who'll be moving on to top 16.
And as we await that last judge's decision here, I did get a remark from Legacy of Team Kinetik on his loss there. Kinetik guys all felt like it could have been one more time. I definitely agree. It was a very, very good, very close battle. But all he has to say, the judges just hate to see a cracker with motion for real on God. So he's taking it like a champ, it seems like. He's having fun. He's coming out here throwing down, making sure that it's a party all the time. But we'll be seeing him hopefully at the last round here at track that we haven't announced yet, but I'm very excited to see what everybody thinks of it. It's very, very cool what we've got in the works. As the judges' decisions are in, 1 going to Keith, 2 going to Keith, and it is unanimous. Keith going to be advancing on over Chris, and honestly, it's kind of where I saw that going. Unfortunately, that lead from Chris just a little too rough, I think, to give him a one more time on.
Indeed. Unfortunately, just as you're reiterating, you got to have a good lead to have a good chase. But Keith doing a little bit of celebratory donuts in the background there, as we'll be moving on to our next and final group. And as we get those guys loaded in here, we'll take a look at our winners of the previous group that we just saw. Young Ramiran with that buy run, able to get a nice, easy step up. Miles able to take the win. Matthias getting another win over the always infamous buy. And Keith, as we just saw, taking that win. But we'll allow these guys to get into the server. A few amazing battles coming up here. But we'll be right back with more top 32 action here at E-Town. Limiter down the hill. Exactly what he's known for. Nice run, nice, beautiful run. And a little 360 to keep it all the way around. Power down, that engine sing, beautifully done.
Welcome back, everyone. Oversteer Grand Prix brings us all the way to Ireland for round 4. Here at Mondello, we expect a forecast of clear skies, a little bit of sunshine, but a whole lot of tire smoke.
Sound waves reaching the microphone are changed into impulses of electric current.
No need to worry about your pre-recorded music tapes being accidentally erased. It can't happen.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see ourselves a new leader.
The theme is
Hello and welcome back to E-Town. We're going to be finishing up top 32. But we'll take a look at the drivers up next, as we'll see Lester taking on the always infamous Bai. He's got 2 more chances here. Can we finally see him eke out a win? We'll see Cervantes taking on Ryan from Team STB. Team STB already have a driver on through to the top 16. Can we see a little bit of an upset? Drake going to be the final battle on Bai's plate. Maybe he'll be able to go 2 for 2 in this group. But then we'll see Diaz and Taryn finishing out this side of the bracket before we take it into top 16. But Strep, how are you feeling about Bai's chances here?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. He's got some very stacked competition going into this group. Bai, one of the only competitors with an OGP license that we allow to compete multiple times in the top 32. So a very special case right there. Obviously, he drives his invisible boatmobile very well. Stole it straight off of the set of SpongeBob. And speaking of which, his first opponent is at the line now. We're going to see Lester set up and ready to go for this Bai run here.
Indeed, all the drivers finishing up their practice runs, but Lester determined to continue this losing streak. As we await the light for what should be a very entertaining battle.
You know, all jokes aside, I think this is going to be a very good Bai run here from Lester. One of the things he always does whenever he's got a solo run is he usually throws down pretty well. And looks like he is starting to run off with some pretty good style there. Nearly putting that car on the wall, and he's filling those zones pretty good. Gotta admit, Vroom, this is looking like a really good run right now from Lester.
Very impressive as he comes around outside zone 3, pouring on the angle. A little bit of a bobble there, but also not being able to fill outside zone 2. And no 360. This might be...
Judges are sliding in their decisions. Oh my God, we've got 1 vote for Bai.
Oh
2
my
votes for
goodness.
Bai. It's unanimous.
You
Lester is getting taken out by Bai. Oh my God. Lester is not advancing on to the top 16. Bai is going to be getting the win here. Oh my God, I can't believe it.
Pandemonium, the stands are erupting. There are people on the track. Marshall's scrambling to get people off as we got the already next battle up to go. These drivers having to wait patiently as we get things cleaned up. It's absolute pandemonium. Bai able to get his first win.
Obviously, a little bit of a difficulty there on the backside of things for Lester's run. Lester is advancing on to the 16. I'm sure everybody watching along knows, but yeah, it looks like in the judges' hearts, Bai gets the win there. So we'll see Lester in the top 16, but now we're going to go ahead and advance on to watch Ryan chasing down Cervantes. And looks like we do not have him leaving the line.
Starting issue, it seems. Cervantes unaware, continuing the rest of his run. I'm unsure if this is going to be... Yes, and we're going to get that restarted. But the People's Champion Bai finally getting that first win, hypothetically, unfortunately. As Lester... Strep mentioned, Lester will be moving on to top 16, but we do have our next actual battle up to the line. Cervantes versus 33 Ryan. Cervantes, the other driver in the E92. We'll see if he can sneak out a win. And we'll see that car continue on through, but what will 33 Ryan have for him? Maybe he'll be able to join his teammate into top 16. They are on opposite sides of the bracket. They could meet in the finals. And what a story that would be. But the white light flashes officially here and they do not light off. Maybe we'll try it one more time.
Oh my goodness. I have to interrupt the commentary here. Chris Knapp in the chat right now. What's going on, Chris? Welcome to the Oversteer Grand Prix. Is right now Chris Cervantes leading out STB Ryan in that Nissan S15 V8 powered. Going to outside zone number 2 here. Very good lead run coming out of that E92. But good Lord, Ryan not giving him any kind of breathing space here as they transition for the last time out to outside zone number 3. And Ryan does fall back a little bit there, but he surges up towards him towards the end of the run.
Indeed, Ryan falling back a little bit. Yeah, great to see you here. Hopefully we're putting on a good show for you. But Ryan, indeed, as you said, falling back a little bit there, able to claw back. As, a little bit of a false start there. As we're getting our checks from our marshals. And we'll get this second run underway as we got things flipped around. Ryan in the lead. Cervantes in the chase. We'll see what Cervantes can do here. Ryan leaving a lot on the table, but anything can happen. As they fire on through, initiating in nice big angle, but not able to fill the zone for Ryan, but a late transition is going to send him into the wall. Able to regroup with Cervantes, still continuing his drift right back to him. Ryan, a few mistakes as getting it fired in. Big angle, but pulling himself out of the zone there at the end.
That is not what you want to see going on with that one, but it sounds like we do have the replays again. So hopefully this time our technical difficulties hold off. And here we go. We do have them. So we'll watch this back here, see exactly what unfolded for Ryan out in the lead position there. And transitioning across, looks like just lost the car a little bit and ended up finding that wall. Almost looked like Dan Stuckey was out on track for a second there. So yeah, maybe just a little bit of Gremlins, the ghost of Daniel Stuckey returning here at E-Town. But honestly, I think that might be all she wrote for Ryan in the chance of an STB final. Judges are putting in their results. We'll get a final decision here and see what they've got to say.
Indeed, we'll have to see who's packing it in the trailer as Cervantes 1, 2, 3. It's going to be unanimous. Ryan going to be heading home, but not without style. Was definitely throwing all the angle he could out there, but unfortunately, that being his undoing. As we'll see our next driver up to the line, Drake.
Baby.
Oh,
baby.
Man.
As a reward for Bai taking out Lester, he gets another run against the one and only Drake Drifts. Or as some of you in chat like to refer to him as, Drake May. Even though that is not his name, it's just funny to say it that way. As he makes his way to the line in that RPS 13.5. Very beautiful car. Still one of my favorites overall in this pack.
I gotta say that grayscale livery honestly looks the best on that car. It's just so striking. The body lines just make that thing pop. As here we go. Drake firing off. by. Can he do it one more time? Big angle, but not getting out to that zone. Drake falling apart a little bit here. Not quite filling outside zone 2 as he should neither. As he throws a little 360 flare onto there, going into outside zone 3, but still not filling that zone.
Yeah, and we get the double.
But a little double 360. This might be a little bit of a closer battle than we're expecting here.
Yeah, we'll have to see what the judges say on this one. Looks like decisions are coming in, and they're coming in fast. Here we go. So it's a one more time from Judge 1. Judge 2 going over to Drake, and then Judge 3 also going over to Drake. So, of course, Drake going to be edging out by on this battle. Are we allowed to talk about edging? Is that allowed? Oh, there's a rescore coming in. Hold on a minute. There's a rescore coming in on the run here. There we go. It's an OMT for Drake. Drake getting 1 vote by. Oh, it's a full split decision.
Full split decision. One more time.
Drake is not going to be edging out Byron. It looks like he's going to have to go again in the top 16 against his competitor. So Judge is having a little bit of fun there, just hanging out, having a blast. Obviously, Byron's nothing too serious, but yeah. So now we get to find out, I believe, who he's going to be going against. We've got a couple of pretty good drivers at the line getting ready to send it here. Taryn in the chase position, going to be Diaz out in the lead, and Vroom handing it over to you. Let's see what these guys got.
Let's see. Diaz always exciting in that S13. Taryn, but he knows how to rip that skyline. Diaz coming around outside zone 2, nice and smooth, but Taryn's right there with him in the pocket, hammering the throttle down to the floor, not letting up. These drivers right next to each other. Taryn firing on through, trying to get back to the door of Diaz, has to check up a little bit of angle. Might have been a little bit of contact there, but able to make it across the line.
Yeah, it was definitely close. Not sure if they actually touched or not there. The replay will have to be the tell-all for that one. As we get them re-racked, it's going to be Taryn now out in the lead with Diaz in the chase position here. Diaz opting for a little bit of a start further back, a little bit of a stagger to the setup here. Lights are on, drivers are heading through the chicane. Will this pay off for Diaz? As Taryn initiates in up in the lead position, and Diaz very quick to match angle, but Taryn out in the lead position, putting a great run, and Diaz putting the car perfectly in the pocket. Holy cow, Diaz. Taryn barely scraping that wall and grabbing that inside clip as they transition for the last time. Diaz once again putting it right on Taryn's door, and across the line they go. What an exciting run from both of these drivers.
How about that indeed? Diaz just pushing Taryn around the track as we take a look at the replay here. Man, what a battle between these two. Absolutely throwing it down. They know how to party. They know how to put on a show. Taryn just barely missing the wall there. That could have been disastrous, but both drivers able to make it around. Diaz really showing a little bit more there in outside zone 3 in the chase.
Judges are already getting their decisions swatted in by the looks of things. We'll have to see where they go here. I got to admit, I wouldn't mind seeing them go one more time. That was a pretty exciting battle that we just got to witness there. As Diaz putting on such an exciting chase. Is that exciting chase run going to be enough to take down Taryn? Or is there something that Taryn did that might take out Diaz? Or are we going to see these guys go one more time? One more judge awaiting their decision here to make it final, see what these guys are going to be doing. And it looks like scores are in.
1 vote for Diaz, 2 votes. It's going to be unanimous. All falls Diaz's way. 2 EOD drivers advancing onto the top 16. But Taryn absolutely throwing it down with an absolutely amazing battle to close out top 32. But we have more action underway as we'll be taking us on down to top 16 for what should be an absolute blast and a lot of fun. These guys know how to throw down, and it only gets better from here. So we'll take a look back on our winners from the previous group that we just had. Lester obviously moving on through, as well as Drake. Both those guys able to eke through their bye runs. But C. Cervantes able to make it on through, as well as Diaz. Both of those EOD drivers on that side of the bracket, I believe. It'll be interesting to see if those guys will meet up. Actually, no, they're actually on the opposites. My apologies. So they could possibly see an all EOD final. We'll allow these drivers to get in, get their final practice in for the night, and we'll be right back with more action here at E-Town. Slam limiter down the hill. Exactly what he's known for. Identical. Nice run, nice, beautiful run. And a little 360 to boot, keep it on the track around to the power down, let that engine sing, beautifully done.
Welcome back, everyone. Oversteer Grand Prix brings us all the way to Ireland for round 4. Here at Mondello, we expect a forecast of clear skies, a little bit of sunshine, but a whole lot of tire smoke.
Sound waves reaching the microphone are changed into impulses of electric current.
No need to worry about your pre-recorded music tapes being accidentally erased. It can't happen.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see ourselves a new leader.
The theme is
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, here at Oversteer Grand Prix Round 5, Englishtown, New Jersey. Shout out Chris Knapp hanging out in the chat there. Been a very exciting day so far. Had a lot of good battles go down, including Bai taking on quite a few drivers. Unfortunately, not able to edge it out over any of them in the wise words Jared Deanda. But we take a look now at our top 16 bracket. Going down the left side here, we got Anthony Taylor, your top of the line boy there, coming all the way from the top of the point standings to take on Blake March. Slammed going to be taking on Ghosts of Team STB. Unfortunately, his teammate of STB not able to meet him on the other side. Chill from Team Kinetik going to be taking on Ed Venus. And then rounding out the left side of the bracket, we got Jason of EOD taking on Dustin. And Riley, I'll pass it on over to you. Let's talk about the other side of the bracket, see what we got going on.
Indeed, a lot of good battles. Looking over on that side, we got Young Ramiran taking on Miles. And we'll see our very own Diego Higa take on Keith. Lester against Cervantes. That should be a good battle. Very entertaining, but a big one to look out for. We got Drake against Diaz. We'll see which one of those Titans can walk away through to the Great 8. But a lot more action here to come as these drivers finish up their practice runs. And we'll hop in to the rest of the battles we got here today.
You know, as we get ready to go into this first battle, you know, Riley, I gotta ask you, pizza toppings, what's the best? What's the worst?
I mean, it's basic, but let's be honest. It's always been there for us. Pepperoni. All right, you can't have a pizza party without pepperoni. It's always going to be there. And it does you no wrong. You can combine it with so many other things. It's your number one pick. It's your top dog. But in terms of worst pizza toppings, I mean, you could say anchovies, but not a lot of places carry them. It's not a very world-renowned thing.
As it should be.
Hot take, but bell peppers. I hate them.
Bell peppers. Wow. Well, you know what? Bell peppers, as spicy and as hot as they are, we got something spicy and hot getting ready to go right now. We got Anthony Taylor getting ready to lead out Blake March on the line right now. Very exciting start to the top 16. And Riley, take it away. Tell us what these guys got going on.
Indeed, Anthony Taylor, our number one driver in the standings, looking to extend that here. Can he do it against Blake March firing in? But Blake unfazed by the angle of Anthony Taylor, trying to pull back to his door through outside zone 2. Anthony Taylor starting to pull away, but as smooth as ever through inside clip. Firing into outside zone 3. A little bit of a mistake there from Blake, trying to get back to the door of Anthony Taylor, but unfazed stands the Titan.
Anthony Taylor putting on a very good lead run there. Unfortunately, Blake March just possibly missed time in the transitions a little bit there. A couple of spots where he ended up in the wrong portion of the pocket with the wrong parts of the car. So hopefully we'll see what happens in the lead run here. He might be able to put down maybe the best lead run that we've seen all weekend. Of course, he does have Anthony Taylor to worry about behind him, but the lights are on. We're going to get them on their way. Blake March now to lead out Anthony Taylor in that E36 BMW. Blake March with a big flick initiation in. Anthony Taylor, though, right there and actually deeper in the zone than Blake March is. So transition over to outside zone number 2. Blake putting a little bit of a wheel over the line by the looks of things, and Anthony Taylor getting right up on the door as they bring it around out of that inside clip. Pretty much perfect from both of them there. And Blake getting into that zone a little bit late, but Anthony Taylor right in the pocket the entire time, unable to be shaken by Blake March in the RPS 13.5.
Indeed, Blake March throwing it in as we take a look at the replay here. A real smooth lead, a few choppy transitions not allowing him to float in smoothly with the zones, missing out on a few of those into the entry of the zones there, but allowing Anthony Taylor to do what he does best in the chase and get right up to his door. We'll take it to the judges as they're already getting a few of those answers in to see who's going to be moving on.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you here, Riley. I think it's going to be a very quick decision from the judges. Very, very easy battle, in my opinion. And it looks like all judges have decided 1 going to Anthony Taylor, 2 going to Anthony Taylor. And it is unanimous. Anthony Taylor going to be getting the win here over Blake March and advancing on to the top 8.
Anthony Taylor standing tall, doing what he does best, but Blake March certainly throwing it down. A very talented driver. We love seeing him hang out with us, be here week in and week out, just doing what he does best, and that's drift. As we get our next battle up to the line here, We're going to be seeing Slammed in that big body JZX take on Ghost from Team STB, the lone survivor. Unfortunately, Ryan not able to make it through his top 32 battle, but we'll see what he can do against the lock-to-lock driver. The 360 King himself yet to throw one down. We'll see if that changes throughout the night, as we're all ready to go here for this top 16 battle. White light flashes, here we go. Slam throwing it in. Ghost not too far behind him. Not matching the same proximity to that zone. Little bit of a mistake there. Ghost over angling. Slam starting to run away. Trying to close up that proximity. Almost gets into the rear bumper. But Slammed unfazed as he comes across the line. With a little, oh, what was even that?
Yeah, you know what? That was a little bit disappointing there at the end. Gonna have to see something better on the second half of this battle. As we get them racked back up here now. Gonna be Slammed this time. Chasing down Mr. Ghost. And just to hit on what's going on in the chat there, we did actually set it up to throw the drivers off. They cannot go around to the other side of that wall. But right now, going around the track, Ghost to lead out Slammed. And Slammed getting right up on the door out of the gate. Holy cow, what an initiation in the chase. Ghost gonna have to do something crazy here to shake him off, but he is unable to. Slammed right there on the door. As they transition through for the last time now, Ghost finally finding out where he needs to be, but Slammed unable to be shaken in that JZX, the hashtag boat life, as nobody crashed during that run, but who did crash? The production team. So we're going to have to get the production team lined back up here.
Oh, we got some replay there. How about that?
There it is. Look at that. Hey, there we go. We saved something. Kyle's doing his due diligence a little bit. Unfortunately, hardware issues hard to correct.
How about the confidence out of Slammed? Unfazed to just go ahead and throw it right onto Slammed's door. Not a driver we see qualify very high, but certainly a very good driver. But Slammed able to advance on through. So we see unanimously. As well, let that go ahead and play. Slam going to be moving on through. Unfazed, able to throw it right onto the door and never looked back. Kept it stuck on there like Gorilla Glue.
And for those of you in chat talking about how you should have got in on the action here, tune in and keep watching, because after round 6, our next round and final round of season 1 is over, we're going to be announcing some information about the signups for season 2. So if you want to be able to get in on the action, make sure you follow us on Instagram at the Oversteer GP. That's Oversteer, OVERSTEER.GP on Instagram. And make sure you join the Discord to keep tuned in for announcements about season 2 signups. However, now coming to the line, one of the drivers off of my team, Mr. Elias Nassar, aka Chillmate, getting ready to lean out one of the lock-to-lock boys in at Venus. Very exciting battle here. I'm super stoked on this one. Gonna be a real barn burner.
Indeed, both drivers know what's at stake. Venus, a very quick driver, has a very fast setup. He always knows what to bring to the table. Chillmate, can he keep it chill as he throws down this lead run? But here we go, white light flashes. Both drivers firing out of the gate in their respective S chassis. Chillmate throwing it all the way back to the wall, filling that outer zone completely, but Venus doing everything he can, getting nice buttoned up to that door. Sitting in the pocket, trying to match angle as he gets around to that inner clip. Firing in outside zone 3, a little inside there from Venus, but Chillmate stands tall.
Yeah, one of the things that I did note during that run there, that first transition between outside zone number 1 and 2, it actually looked like there was some contact there from Venus in the chase position, hanging up chill a little bit on that transition. So we'll have to see if the judges caught that on the replays then. Right now, we're going to re-rack, and we're going to have Elias in the chase position. And we're going to put Mr. Sorry, I had to clear my throat there. Mr. Venus out in the lead. So we wait the lights to go here. Get them underway for the second half of the battle. And here we go. Lights are on. Drivers are going through that start chicane around the cones. And initiating in, and Venus out in the lead. Chill having to catch up a little bit here. Getting it back up into that pocket, and he does so coming into outside zone number 2 with a little bit of a weird line, but nothing too weird. As Venus putting on a pretty decent lead run right now, getting all the points that he needs to get, putting the tires right where they got to go. And across the line, both of these drivers with a pretty good second half of that battle. Very clean for both of those guys.
We'll take it back to the replay here. You see Elias kind of hanging back there at initiation with a quick driver like at Venus. Is that really something you want to be doing? We'll see if that pays off for him. He was trying to fight back a lot of that proximity throughout the run. But we'll see what the judges think, especially trying to factor in that contact through transition, as Strep was previously mentioning.
Yeah, we talked about it a lot here at OGP. Contact is one of the very, very big things that we hit pretty heavily on with our drivers. We don't want to see any contact occurring, and we saw a little bit of it there. Didn't look like it upset Chill too much. Maybe threw him offline ever so slightly, but either way, contact is contact at the end of the day, and somebody's at fault. So the judges will have to look back at that on the replays. They're also going to have to look at the rest of the runs, though. Who did better in the zones? Who had more proximity in the chase? Who had more angle? And who had more pizzazz? Because we sure love our style here at OGP. So we wait for these judges to make any kind of decision. Nobody putting anything in yet.
Seems like they're mostly probably deliberating on that contact, trying to see where fault could possibly be put, because these judges like to evaluate the entire run. That's kind of how we do our judging here. We don't really go off of a zone to zone basis, but we're looking at the entire run. How did you get there? How did you come out of it? And taking everything into account here. But hopefully we'll be able to get an answer here soon on who will be moving on through. But let's hear it from you guys at home. Who do you think took this battle? A very close one. We'd love to see your guys' opinion.
Yeah, we've had a lot of very close battles here in OGP today. One of the ones that we looked at earlier was when Travis Dawson unfortunately got knocked out by Miles earlier. I say unfortunate. It's unfortunate for me as his team owner. That was such a close battle that I truly thought it was going to be an OMT there. And right here, right now, with Venus and Chill, another very close battle. They made a couple of similar mistakes between them. But, you know, is it going to come down to one single mistake tipping the balance here? Or are they going to be going at it again, as all three judges have a decision in? Judge 1 with a one more time. Judge 2 going in Venus. Oh, and unfortunately for Chill, but very fortunate for Venus. Venus going to be moving on. It is not unanimous. It is a split decision, but Venus going to be taking the win there. So maybe we'll get a judge explanation. We'll hear from them on what they have to say and find out what gave Venus the edge over Chill.
Indeed, we saw that first judge voting one more time. He wanted to see him go at it again. But the two judges siding way of Venus. As we'll get our next battle pulled up to the line. Hopefully we can get kind of an explanation on that. As we take it to our next battle, Jason from Team EOD in that big body JZS hashtag boat life. Going up against Dustin from Team Concept, giving chase in that E36.
Another very good battle getting ready to go here.
As
Dustin. Oh, no, you go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead, sir.
All right, Dustin of Team Concept, he's come out here. He's shown what he's capable of. But now we'll see if he's got what it takes to take down that big body.
Indeed, as they fire in, Dragon bumper with that big body. Unfazed, firing on through. Dustin right there with him, not letting him get away as he starts to make his way into that pocket. Falls back a little bit through the inner clip, but he's trying to bring back his ground. Jason keeping a smooth, nice lead here through outside zone 3. A little bit of contact across the line.
Yeah, and if you're going to have contact anywhere, doing it across the line is a place to do it because you might get lucky and not get docked for it. So got to keep the car off of him, though. Can't be having no contact in the middle of that run there, Dustin. But we'll flip him around now. We'll have Jason in the JZX 100 chasing him down. That BMW E36. Both of these sporting those beautiful Kinetik Kreations liveries done by yours truly. And looking very good here at E-Town as they do it. So we'll wait for the light to go here. We'll see what they've got in the tank for part 2 of their battle. As the blue lights are on, there goes the white, and the drivers are on their way. Dustin leading out Jason here as they both initiate it. And oh, Jason with a major hit on the wall. That's going to be an incomplete already for Jason, but he's going to still try to put it back on the door of Dustin. And at this point, all Dustin needs to do is finish this run out without any error of himself in the lead, and he'll be okay, and that's exactly what he does. So very unfortunate for Jason here. Looks like going to be taking himself out with that wall hit.
It's very unfortunate, but not unlike we've seen today already. We've seen another driver fortunately get into that wall. I believe it was Dalton we saw do that, but that wall sneaky. I've gotten into it a few times myself. It's no stranger to a little bit of contact, but unfortunate for Jason, as we'll see a quick decision here. Most likely from our judges. We already got 2 in. Still waiting that final judge to get their score. And we'll see who'll be moving on through to top 8. Who is going to be facing Advenus from Team Lock to Lock? 1 vote for Dustin. There's going to be 2. It's going to be unanimous. Dustin moves on through with a pretty easy decision, but Jason absolutely throwing it down. Did great during qualifying. We'll see how he can bounce back in round 6. Let's take a look at how the bracket's shaping out here. As we get our next group in, Anthony Taylor, we're going to see him going up against Slam. That should be a real good battle going into the Grade 8. And then we'll see Advenus taking on Dustin. Can Dustin see his way through? A little bit of a Cinderella story starting to build. But he is no stranger to competition, as he did really well last round.
Yeah, a little bit of a Cinderella story to come up here. But of course, we still have another half of our top 16 to go through. We're going to see Young taking on Miles. Matthias going to be taking on Mr. Chief Keef himself, TDR Keef, that is. Lester taking on Cervantes, and then Drake to take on Diaz. That's a pretty exciting battle. Should be pretty fun. So we'll have to see who makes it into the other side of the bracket here. And then we just got to keep working our way down from there.
Indeed, but we'll cut to a quick commercial break. Last one of the night before we go into straight top 8 action after top 16. But we'll be back with more action here at Oversteer Grand Prix. Limiter down the hill. Exactly what he's known for. Nice run, nice, beautiful run. And a little 360 to boot, keep it on the track. Power down, let that engine sing. Beautifully done.
Welcome back, everyone. Oversteer Grand Prix brings us all the way to Ireland for round 4. Here at Mondello, we expect a forecast of clear skies, a little bit of sunshine, but a whole lot of tire smoke.
Sound waves reaching the microphone are changed into impulses of electric current.
No need to worry about your pre-recorded music tapes being accidentally erased. It can't happen.
surprised if we see ourselves a new leader.
The theme is
Welcome back to Oversteer Grand Prix. We're here at E-Town. We're going to be closing out top 16 here as we take a look at the bracket. And we'll take a look at the right side here. Strip, you got any notable battles here? What do you think?
Yeah, we do have a couple of very interesting battles coming our way here. As oh, my screen just went blank, but here we go. Got it now. So yeah, we got Young taking on Miles. Miles, of course, took out Travis Dawson in the top 16. Very good battle going on there. Matthias, though, had a bye run because his opponent did not show up. He'll be taking on Keith. So we'll have to see what goes on there. Both of these guys are capable of throwing down some pretty good runs. I think that we can see a little bit more from them than what we've saw so far today. But one of the battles I am very excited to see, honestly, both of the last battles in the top 16 are very exciting. The first one being Lester and Cervantes. Both of these guys pretty consistent with one another. Super stoked to see what they're going to throw down against each other. However, rounding out our top 16, we got Drake taking on Diaz, which for those of you who've been following along throughout the season, Drake, Diaz, super good battle in the line right there. Drake very consistent, Diaz very aggressive. Have to see what they're able to do to one another.
Indeed. Drake and Lester both with those buys, but with a little bit shaky, I might add. They're not really filling zones completely. Would like to see if they can turn it up here for top 16, as they do have some pretty hefty opponents they'll be looking up against. But in other words, we had a conversation about pizza toppings going on before we got into top 16. Strip, we never got your side. What's the best and the worst pizza topping?
Unfortunately, before we go to that, I do want to just hit back on a serious topic that we've been waiting on an answer from the judges on here to answer for you guys watching along at home here. Per the judges, the deciding factor that gave Advenus the lead over Chill there, and this is directly from one of our judges, is Advenus had a little bit of a better chase. They did not feel that the little bit of contact that was had there changed anything with Chill's portion of the run, as he did not have to make any sorts of adjustments to the car. They did all mention that it was a very close battle, obviously one of them going with a one more time. Two of the judges very close to going a one more time, but that better chase run from Advenus is going to be Chill's demise here. So unfortunately for Chill, going to be out going against Venus there. Venus advancing on, and that is what the judges had to say.
Well, we certainly appreciate our judges and the time they take to really make sure they get the right calls down. But unfortunately, it looks like our little pizza conversation is going to get cut short, as we already have our first battle up to the line to finish out top 16 here. Young Ramirin in that E36 in the lead. Miles going to be giving chase. We'll see what he can do against one of our top qualifiers from yesterday. Absolutely threw it down. We'll see what he has for his first official battle. And we're already here. White light flashes. Here we go. Both drivers firing on through. Simultaneous initiation. Little tap there on the wall, but not changing up too much. Miles having to pull back some of the proximity here. Young trying to get away as they come through that first inner clip, firing into outside zone 3. Smooth by Young, but Miles trying to play a little bit of catch up there.
Yeah,
We'll
it
have
looked like
to
Miles
see.
just getting lost a little bit there behind him. Now Young going to be chasing him down. Obviously, one of the things that you got to hit on whenever you have a car that is slower, that loses ground in its chase position, you got to be careful when they're in the lead, because they might stall you up when you're chasing them.
Indeed, that is always a risk for an aggressive driver.
Here we go. Lights are on and away we go. Young now chasing down Miles as Miles initiates in, missing majority of that zone, barely dipping that one tire in, but Young right there on the door throughout the entirety now as they go through outside zone number 2. Oh, looks like a little bit of contact possibly from Young in the chase there, and that might have just pushed Miles out into the wall. I'm not 100% sure if that was contact or not. We're gonna have to definitely watch the replay back, but it was definitely very close. Looks like all eyes are going to be on the replay for that one. That could have been contact, sending Miles off.
Let's see. See, rounds outside zone 2 does look like a little bit of contact from Young, sending Miles into the wall. Judges will be looking at kind of what Miles had going on. Was he on power? Did he lose a little bit of momentum there? As we take it to the judges, one judge has already got his vote in. We'll be awaiting those other 2 to see kind of what we think here.
Yeah, that's correct, Chris. You don't have to clean anything up. It's all virtual dirt, virtual car parts. Everything is flying here. We got the people up in the stands. Some of them are dead right now. We had an entire quarter panel fly off of that car. But you don't got to clean it up, as we do have the decision coming in here. And Miles is going to be advancing on unanimously due to the contact.
Yeah, very unfortunate there for Young. A great driver, but as you're saying, I mean, when the car ahead of you is a little bit slower, we want to be a little bit patient, but just trying to be a little bit too aggressive there. And unfortunately, that being his undoing. But we've got our next battle coming around. Matthias in that S14, new look for him here at E-Town. As we'll see TDR Keefe make his way around. Chief Keefe, Strep likes to say. We'll see what he can do. Coming through the burnout pit area, there he is, making his way around. And that beautiful grayscale livery done by our very own Strep Kinetik Kreations. Always making these cars look sharp as possible.
I appreciate the glaze. Always appreciate the glaze from my fellow commentator. As Chief Keefe ready to challenge the Brazilian driver, our very own version of Diego Higa here. See what goes on.
White light flashes. Here we go. What will they do? So they fire into outside zone 1. Massive angle from both drivers. Keefe having to close up a little bit of that proximity. Getting a little bit of distance, but surges in, but has to back off. Almost contact there. That could have been really bad. Matthias unfazed, keeping a nice smooth line into outside zone 3, firing in. Keefe right there with him, matching angle, but needs to be a little bit closer.
Yeah, a couple of issues there in that chase position. And also a little bit of air in the lead. There's a couple mistakes on both sides of the board here. These guys are going to have to clean it up. Oh, is my throat still just not happy ever since I got back from Erie Speedway. But making it work as we wait for these lights to go, and the blue is on, the white is coming, and away goes the Brazilian to chase down Mr. Keith. Keith in the big body out front initiates in with a nice big flick. And oh, Keith missing that entire zone and losing a bunch of momentum in the process. However, Matthias in the chase managing to keep it in the pocket, keeping very good proximity as well. As they transition through for the last time now, and Matthias, he's not leaving anything in the judges' hands. He sees the mistakes coming from the lead driver, and he's going to solidify a win for himself here, it looks like.
Great run there for Matthias. Very talented, able to stay in drift and stay with Keith throughout that run, especially through that big mistake as we saw there on the replay. Keith, unfortunately, just overcooking it a little bit through the initiation, but that'll most likely be his undoing. Yeah, good outside zone 3, I must say, though, for Keith. We'll take it to the judges' sliders for a decision. Judges starting to get their scores in here, one at a time. We'll see who will be moving on through to the grade 8. Who will be facing Miles? Waiting on the final judge to get their score in. Will it be Matthias? Will it be Keith?
Will it be a one more time?
Will it be a one more time? The judges.
It will not be a one more time.
Will not be a one more time. The
Gotta
judges
be
take a little
honest,
bit of time
I
here.
know. I got a $5 bill that I know where this is going.
Matthias, there's one, there's two. It's going to be unanimous. Took a little bit of time, but we got there. Matthias moving on. But Keith, unfortunate for him, that mistake just being his undoing. But our next battle coming up here, we got Lester versus Cervantes. We're getting into some action here. What will both of these drivers have? We'll have to wait and see. So we got them pulled up into their respective places. Lester in the lead. Cervantes in that E92. Who will take it? Let's hear you guys in the chat. Who do you want to win? Who do you want to see move on through as they fire out of the gate? Lester beaming it off the red line. Fires in. Cervantes firing on through to the inside and contact through transition. Lester shakes it off like nothing happened, firing on through to outside zone 2. But Cervantes finding his way into that pocket and getting nestled in there. He's firing right onto the door through outside zone 3, pushing him across the line. That mistake there at the beginning, how is that going to factor in?
Yeah, mistakes like that are sometimes exactly what does you in at the end of the night. So we'll have to see what goes on in the second half of this run. Will we see any kind of matching mistakes happen? Will we see somebody do something that we haven't seen before and put down a perfect run? Because let's be honest, we haven't gotten the perfect one yet today. I'm excited to see it right now. All eyes on Cervantes out in the lead. Lester, the consistency king, in the chase as both of these guys initiated. And oh my goodness. Just as I say it, Lester just backing it in on Cervantes' door. And now Cervantes out in the lead with a major correction. So very, very rough run already from both of these guys. They do manage to keep it off of the wall there, which is nice. And now Cervantes swinging it a little bit wide. Lester trying to find his way back into that pocket. And they do make it across the line. Somehow nobody crashed, nobody died there. Only thing that I would say crashed was my heart rate when I saw Lester actually put that car at angle.
That
I don't think
was
that we've ever seen it
insane.
here in OGP before, but he's done it. He's proven to everybody. Lester can hold angle, fellas. You saw it here first.
Lester can indeed hold angle, but was it too much? We'll take it to the judge's decision. We'll see who will be moving on through. Will it be Cervantes? Will it be Lester? How will those two mistakes at the start affect both of these runs? But we will wait and see. One judge already has their decision in. There's two. Will we see our third make its way? Will we wait here and build more suspense? We got our decision one more time. Judge 2, Lester. Where is it going to go? And Lester moving on through another split decision. Judge 1 really wanted to see these battles go one more time. But Cervantes ultimately having that bigger mistake in the lead.
Yeah, not gonna lie here. I definitely would love to hear what the judges have to say about that call. That's a very, very tough decision to make right there, to say the least. But as we try to talk to them about maybe getting something in check for that, we're gonna have our next battle pulling up to the line here. And we've got Diaz in the chase position. Mr. Drake of Lock to Lock in the lead. This is a barn burner that I've been waiting to see. Diaz has been aggressive all night so far. Drake has been super, super consistent with his runs. I'm excited to see it. Drake was looking really good in practice. I'm hoping he's about to put down a heck of a lead run here. I can't wait to see Diaz try to match it.
Diaz, full of excitement. He's not afraid to throw it on the door. We've seen it tonight. But Drake knows how to throw down a good lead run. He knows he's going to give him the opportunity of a lifetime here to be aggressive, to put it all on the table. But which driver will walk away victorious as we await the light to send these two drivers here at Englishtown to close out top 16? Who will be moving on to face Leicester in the Great 8? Quick reset for both of the drivers. Believe Diaz probably wants to re-get his tires warm, as he is one of those drivers that does like to have them a little toasty. Likes to put on the best run possible, and he wants to make sure he can do that. But Drake straight to the point, already at the line. He's ready to go. It's Diaz making his way around the wall, and we'll get ready to go here. But here we go, both drivers lined up. Got the signal, here we go. What can these two drivers do here? Drake fires in. Diaz keeping a little bit of distance, needs to close up that proximity, but he fires into the door in outside zone 2. Drake painting that wide line, pulling off just a little bit, but gets right there. Diaz not letting up, pushing him through the inner clip, firing right back onto the door through outside zone 3. Drake right there, across the line. Man, Diaz, how about that? No stranger.
Yeah, Diaz has been super aggressive all night, as I was saying prior. And honestly, man, this is just super exciting. I'm ready to see what he's got in the lead. If his chases are that good, can't wait to see what his lead runs are going to look like. And now we finally get to see Drake in the chase position. Is Drake going to be able to take down the aggressive Diaz? Is Diaz going to be able to take down the consistent Drake? Let's find out. Is Diaz now in the lead position? Drake chasing him down. A little bit of a gap off of the line, and Drake not quite in the pocket here, but coming in outside zone number 2, he corrects that issue and gets right up on the door of Diaz. Diaz in the lead, though, putting on a very good lead run here, grabbing that inner clip all of it perfectly as now they transition through for the last time. Diaz putting the car right in that zone, but Drake present the entire way. Do we have a winner? Is it going to be Diaz? Is it going to be Drake? Or are we going to see these guys go one more time? Honestly, I could sit here and watch them go one more time all night. That was really exciting.
Oh, absolutely. These guys absolutely putting on a show. They know how to do it, and they know how to do it well. Both runs very similar in at least the terms of the chase. We'll have to kind of look and see. Maybe this will be a lead for lead battle. We'll see. We'll take it to the judges. See if they can come up with a decision here. Will we see him go one more time? Will it be Diaz? Will it be Drake? We'll just have to wait and see. Two absolute superstars here at Oversteer Grand Prix. They've been throwing it down. They have a lot at stake here too. The points, the standings ever closing to the end of the season. Anthony Taylor has a massive lead, but both of these drivers have the opportunity to close that gap. But a lot to play for here, and a lot rides on this decision, as we already got one judge got his vote through, and we got a second three. We finally got ourselves a decision. Who's it going to be? One more time. One more times. It's going to be unanimous. We're going to see these guys go at it one more time. Can you believe it?
Yes, I can. This is exactly what I thought we were going to see here. Both of these guys are super consistent with one another. They seem to make similar mistakes. They have similar strengths. And honestly, I'm very excited to see them go at it again here. It's exactly the call that I wanted to see from these two. And I'm ready to see what they throw down against each other on the second battle.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see those drivers getting fresh rubber on their cars. And then they'll be firing off here. Both drivers making their way around. Diaz getting his tires warm in the burnout box area. Now, if you're Drake in this position, what's your mindset in the lead here?
You know, I got to be honest with you. If I was Drake right now and I was sitting in that seat, thinking about how to edge everything out over my opponent, I'd be ready to just give it the jam and jelly and send it around the track as hard as I possibly can, man. Diaz is super aggressive in the chase. Whenever you transition, you better believe he's going to be right on your door. And if you make a mistake, he's going to capitalize on it. But one thing that I will say for Diaz in the chase, you got to be careful about what that lead does, because they might throw you off and force a mistake.
Indeed, Diaz, just like jelly, knows how to lay it on thick. What will we see here as they fire into outside zone 2? Diaz right there with them, pushing them around. Give him a light little tap, but unfazed, pushing on through. Another tap there from Diaz into inner clip 1. Fire into outside zone 2. They go off track. 2 tires off there of that white line, but Diaz still right there with them, following them off, but able to keep it onto the track.
Yeah, once again, seeing some mistakes play out here, but gonna have to see if they'll clean it up here. Obviously, we got a second half of this battle to go yet. Will Diaz be able to clean things up from the first battle? Will Drake be able to chase him down with more proximity and style than before? We're about to find out. Both drivers at the line, ready to go here. Both of their engines revving up. Lights are on. The white light has flashed. Diaz out in the lead. Drake in the chase position. Coming up to our initiation zone. Diaz initiating in, putting that car right out to the wall. But Drake present in the chase position, putting on that proximity. As now Diaz going super wide and dropping a tire into the dirt. Drake right there behind him still, not letting him get an inch as they go through that inside clip, now transitioning through, and Drake massively offline in the chase position as Diaz fills that last zone and across the line. Oh my goodness, tons of mistakes from both of these drivers. When we said clean it up, boys, we didn't mean to tell Chris Knapp to get the broom.
Oh man, Diaz major mistake, but Drake almost looked like he had a little bit of contact through that transition. He was real aggressive, unlike we saw in the first battle. He just threw it right onto the door. He knew what he needed to do to make up for that mistake, but I think might have been doing a little bit too much. Might have forced Diaz off track. We'll have to see. Judges have all the eyes that they need. They got the eyes in the sky. They're going to make the right call here, possibly deliberate over this one. But like you said, Strep, a lot of mistakes there, especially in the second run. I'd be interested to see what the judges fare.
Yeah, it definitely looks to me like neither of these guys really capitalizing on the fact that they get a second battle to go off of here. And honestly, looks like even more mistakes than we saw in the first battle. So the big thing here, the rule book, we do have our judges deducting point by point based off of a rule book here as they look over these runs. We'll have to see who had more mistakes, who had the more large mistakes, who had the smaller mistakes. And we're also going to have to see who did it better, who had the better lead, who had the better chase, who had the better 360. The answer is nobody, because neither of them gave us a good one. So both of you are
strictly
banned. We're
business.
sending you home.
Indeed. Unfortunately, strictly business for both of these drivers, but maybe doing a little bit too much, trying to be a little more aggressive. Unfortunately, that just causing a little bit more mistakes. But we got one vote in, still awaiting a few more to get our decision. I'll be interested to see where this battle goes, especially with Diaz going off there.
While we wait for this decision to be made, we did get a little bit of a word from our judges on the Lester and Cervantes battle, directly from one of the judges. Lester managed to hold it together through all of that contact that happened and managed to keep it together even when chasing Cervantes' lead. Cervantes just too sloppy overall. Forced Lester into a little bit of a worse chase than what he's usually capable of. So they ended up giving that win over to Lester.
Well, the judges making their call, sticking with it. Gotta love it. But Lester getting a little lucky there. Fortunately, not able to put down the chases we know him for, and we've said it before, you can't have a good chase without a good lead. We preach that like it's the Bible. Still awaiting a decision here.
Judges. What's going on over there in the judging booth, fellas? I'm so used to it up at Erie Speedway now when I'm sitting up in that commentary booth. All three judges are directly over to my right, that if we're waiting for a decision, I can just sit there and stare at them. AJ Popovich, one of the judges, just hanging out with him earlier today at Evergreen Speedway in Trumps, PA. Always cool to catch up with those guys outside of work. So, unfortunately, here in the virtual world, unable to do that, can't give them the death stare that I usually would. We'll have to wait and see as the judging decision board has gone away. Looking back at the replays, so judges are still deliberating these runs, trying to pick them apart, see who is going to be that overall winner.
Because I believe it's right there. You see it in Drake's chase, a little bump before the transition. I think they're kind of just going over that to try and deem if that could have caused Diaz to possibly go off. That's kind of what I'm seeing right now. But we got our decision one more time. One more time again. One vote for Drake.
Again.
But the judges need to see this again. These guys, we need you to clean it up. This is the last chance you guys got. But they'll get fresh tires. We'll go at it again. Now, hopefully, we can find a victor out of this.
We are going to go ahead and restart the service here quick. Having a little bit of an issue on the back end with certain people being able to access certain stuff. So, going to get a server restart going quick. We'll cut to a very, very brief commercial break here while we get that all squared away, and we'll be right back with the action.
Slam limiter down the hill. Exactly what he's known for. Nice run, nice, beautiful run. And a 360 to boot, keep it on the track. Power down, let that engine sing, beautifully done.
Welcome back, everyone. Oversteer Grand Prix brings us all the way to Ireland for round 4. Here at Mondello, we expect a forecast of clear skies, a little bit of sunshine, but a whole lot of tire smoke.
Sound waves reaching the microphone are changed into impulses of electric current.
No need to worry about your pre-recorded music tapes being accidentally erased. It can't happen.
surprised if we see ourselves a new leader.
The theme is
Hello and welcome back. We got both drivers up to the line. We got the server reset. We're all good to go for more action. And hopefully we can find ourselves a victor between these two. They've been duking it out, but they've yet to be able to put down a clean enough run for our judges. But will they be able to do it here? Hopefully. As we got the white light, here we go. Drake in the lead, Diaz in the chase. Who will walk away victorious as they fire in? Diaz right there with them, but Drake, real nice initiation as they fire into outside zone 2. Diaz a little bit inside, but finding his way into that pocket. Drake nice and smooth through that inner clip, knocks over that pylon. Firing into outside zone 3. Diaz right there with him, little bump over the line. Drake looking a lot more smoother in that lead.
Yeah, and Diaz still at the same time with that aggressive chase run, making sure that he puts that car up in the door as much as possible there. But now, switch it back over here to have him out in the lead and have Drake in the chase. Have to see if Drake has what it takes to put it on his door in return. As here we go. Diaz in the lead, Drake in the chase position. Drake, May. Chasing down Diaz, William Diaz. Very good to that first outside zone. Now transitioning through to the second. Looks like a little bit of a tire drop there from Diaz in the lead with Drake putting that RPS 13.5 right in the pocket as both of them collect that inside clip. Very nicely done there. Again from Diaz, though, looks like maybe a slight tire drop in that last outside zone, but Drake putting it right up on his door. We might have a winner here.
Possibly. Drivers really cleaning it up for this run and being ultra aggressive through that initiation. Both drivers trying to throw it right onto the door, but Drake able to handle the transition a lot better than Diaz. He was able to get right up to that door, but had a little more corrections, I would say, but able to match angle. Both drivers able to match angle pretty well. We'll take it to the judges' sliders and await their decision. But we'll possibly be looking at another deliberation here.
Well, as my throat continues to die on me over here, cannot wait to go to sleep after this event. Drake and Diaz are not making it easy for me, making sure that I am awake and talking as much as possible. And honestly, it's hard to not get excited when we're seeing battles like these take place, as we are still waiting those judges to slot their scores in. One judge has made their decision. I have to see what goes on here. Personally, I am leaning one way instead of the other this time. I think there are some deciding factors. We'll have to see if the judges agree. Don't want to jinx anything for any of our competitors here.
Still awaiting the final judge's decision.
Oh, here it comes. Judge number 3 is in. One judge going to Diaz, 2 going to Diaz, and a third judge. It's unanimous. All going over to Diaz. Now, again, folks, with this being a close battle, we will ask the judges to give us their reasoning so that you folks at home are not left in the dark as to what the decision is. So we'll go ahead as we get our next drivers up to the line here. We'll get a word in with our judges and see what they have to say about that run.
Indeed, we got our next group of drivers already in here. They're ready to go as we proceed on to the grade 8. And we'll get with our judges, find out a little bit of reasoning behind that call. But we'll be hopping straight into action as we continue on through the grade 8. No more practice for these drivers. They've had enough.
Oh my goodness.
So we're just gonna moving through.
Coming.
Indeed.
Holy heck.
How about this? Anthony Taylor versus Slam. 2 lock-to-lock drivers. Anthony Taylor also driving for Big Duck Club. But
That's Mr.
2
Big Duck Club
drivers,
himself right
man.
there.
Mr. Big Duck Club himself.
He's actually
Anthony
the big
Taylor.
duck that started the club.
I did not know that. I feel like that's something I should have known being a commentator.
No, that's okay. He didn't actually do that. So.
Well, how about that? Misinformation up in the booth.
We
But
love
Anthony
spreading
Taylor, here we go. Anthony Taylor firing it in, slammed right there with him on his door, straight from the jump. No stranger knocking on his door saying, "What up? I'm right here." Anthony Taylor still firing through, keeping it nice and smooth through outside zone 2. Bumper to bumper on transition, slammed right there, having to back off a little bit. But and a little bit of contact across the line. But Anthony Taylor keeping it smooth as ever, but slammed. He's getting in there.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, slammed, just not leaving anything on the table there in the chase position. Although coming up on that last outside zone, could have been a little bit closer. And that bumper to bumper transition looks like might have set him back a little bit, actually. Caused him to not be able to surge up as much as he wanted to. But now we've got him flipped around. See if these guys can do the same thing in the other positions, as now we've got slammed leading out Anthony Taylor. Both drivers initiating in, slammed, putting that big body right where it's got to be. Anthony Taylor getting up into the crease of that pocket and putting it right on the door of the big body as they make their way through outside zone number 2. Now coming out to that inside clip, Anthony Taylor right on the door of the big body boat. So he transitioned for the last time, and Anthony Taylor nearly rear wheel to rear wheel for a second there as they go across the line after outside zone number 3. What a battle we've got going on here.
How about that? Absolutely hucking it in there in outside zone 3. We'll see right here on the replay, Slam dropping a little bit of tire out, coming out of outside zone 2. Be interesting to see how that factors into the judge's decision, but I liked Anthony Taylor's decision to kind of sit back a little bit on that initiation and kind of wait till the transition and outside zone 2 to really butt up to the door, give him a little bit of space to transition, especially in that hashtag boat life big body JZX. But we'll take it to the judge's decision and see if they've found themselves a winner.
We will. We see English hard. We will have to see what the judges say, as we are awaiting a score from all 3 of them here as to who is going to advance. Or are we going to see them go one more time? Personally, I could see them going one more time. However, I definitely do have a decision myself out of here. But of course, I am not taught to judge here. I am taught to speak my words, and that I shall, as 1 to Anthony Taylor. 2 to Anthony Taylor, and it is unanimous. Anthony Taylor going to take the win against Slammed. Unfortunately for Slammed, going out against one of his lock-to-lock brethren there, as well as Big Duck Club Sim, Mr. Anthony Taylor advancing on.
How about that for Anthony Taylor? Staying strong, keeping his points lead alive with that win over Slammed. Going to see him move on to the Final 4. and have himself a chance for another podium. Anthony Taylor, certainly no stranger to the Final Four. I believe he's podiumed every event this season, I'm pretty sure. Strip, you could fact check me on that.
You know what? I'm not going to, because I don't have the standings pulled up right now.
Well, then I will. As we get into our next battle here, we got Venus versus Dustin. Venus in the lead. Dustin's going to be giving chase.
Shout out to the guy talking about government conspiracies in chat right now. I don't think we've ever had that here in OGP. Not what I would expect at a drifting competition, but I guess should always expect the unexpected in chat.
Indeed. Can never count out our very owns. But we're ready to go here. White light flashes. Both drivers fire out of the gate. Will Dustin be able to keep up with it? Venus as they fire into OZ1. Dustin right there with it. Venus, though, not shying away, but oh no! Mistimes the transition and grabs a handful of that dirt, converting that BMW to a lawnmower. But Venus into the wall! That's going to set him up real bad here for outside zone 3, but he makes it work. But that's a massive mistake by both drivers.
This is becoming one of those battles where the second half could be the tell-all to end all. That is not how you want the first half of a battle to start.
Definitely not. You don't want to be swinging up, especially this deep into the bracket.
Well, hang on now, because it sounds like they're talking about possibly doing a rerun here.
Possibly a server issue.
Yeah, Venus does have a very high ping in the server right now compared to everybody else. So, looks like possibly a lag issue going on right now.
Just waiting
and we
to
are
get...
actually getting the information directly from Anthony Taylor that it was a podium at every round except for Road Atlanta.
Wow, how about that? Well, not a perfect clean sweep, but certainly knows how to throw down and has that points lead for a reason.
All right, looks like we are going to get both of these drivers re-racked here. Huge lag issue going on. They're going to rerun that run.
All right, then. Well, we'll allow our drivers to get some fresh rubber on. And we'll get them lined back up. Both drivers agreeing on the lag situation and agreeing that there should be a rerun in place. Both drivers, we love to see the camaraderie and the respect between both drivers for a fair competition. No one wants to win on a technicality. You don't want to have that asterisk there. Both drivers want to win with honor and pride. Well, we got them both lined up. They're ready to go. Second chance here for both of these drivers to clean this up. Both had their mistakes. Obviously, possibly due to lag, but see what these guys can do. We're all ready. Here we go. White light flashes. Dustin getting out a little bit ahead of Venus out of the gate. And Venus throwing it down into outside zone 1. A little bit of a tire drop there, possibly. But Dustin firing right onto his door, but almost stalls the car there, having to bring it all the way back into that pocket. But Venus looking smooth into outside zone 3. Dustin, but he's dropping a tire there. Dustin not too far behind, but not super great proximity. Have to see what transpires as we flip these guys around.
Yeah, unfortunately, once again here, seeing some major mistakes from both of them. Obviously, Dustin out in the lead position there. What a bit of an issue. Couldn't really light the car back off that well into outside zone 2. Looks like had to check himself a little bit, almost stalling the car in the process. And then at Venus, coming around the last outside zone, dropping that tire, but now got him switched around. Dustin, a lead out at Venus here. Initiates in. Pretty nice on that first outside zone. Up in the lead is Dustin at Venus, having to get back in that pocket. Using a little bit of left foot brake to correct his position. As Dustin in the lead now, bringing it around, keeps it off of the wall and punches that inside clip. Transitioning through for the last time here at E-Town for these two. At Venus, right back up on the pocket, and Dustin very clean across the line. Gotta be honest with you here, we're gonna be splitting hairs, I think, for these judges. That's a very tough call to make.
Definitely seems to be the case. Both drivers pretty equal in their mistakes, but at Venus, how about that chase, sitting in that pocket, getting comfortable, using that speed to his advantage. As we know, he's a very fast and talented driver, but Dustin, no slouch neither. He's been in this position before. He knows what it's like to fight for the chance of a podium. But we'll see who will walk away victorious, as we already have one judge decision in.
Waiting on the rest of our judges to slot in their decision here. Number 2 has made their decision. So we got one more judge in the wing, and it looks like the decision is in. 1 going to Venus, 2 going to Venus, and 3 going to Venus. It is unanimous. Venus going to be advancing over Dustin.
Just looks like Dustin having the bigger mistakes there. Unfortunately, you can't shake what the camera tells. And Venus moving on through. He's going to be going up against Anthony Taylor. Battle we've seen a few times before. We'll see who can take it. Another 2 lock-to-lock drivers going head-to-head. But we'll take it to the other side of the bracket here. For our upcoming battles, we're going to be seeing Miles take on Matthias. An all S14 battle. As we will get that bracket updated with the most recent battle. And then we'll also see Lester take on Diaz. 2 drivers known for their chases. We'll see what they can do in their lead. But both drivers making their way around to the starting gate. As we continue through Grade 8, we'll get our final 4 drivers, and we'll see who will be vying for the chance at that top spot of the podium. Got Miles up to the line already. He's ready to go. Just waiting on our Matthias. I'm not sure I see him in the server. I'm interested to see what's going on.
He is in the voice channel, but I don't... sorry. I don't see him in the server right this second.
Miles resetting back to the pit area. Getting a few tweaks on his car. Making sure he's battle ready.
Oh, and getting word that Matthias did have to actually just restart his game, so he is trying to load it back up right now. Hopefully get him back in here. He is on the clock right now. These guys usually get about 2 minutes to get to the line. If they do not, then we continue without them.
This would be a tough battle to miss for Matthias. I'd love to see if he can't get out here, as we are going to go ahead and start that clock. Once again, kind of Matthias not known for really being on time, as we also had that issue in qualifying. He was able to beat the clock and make it in for his qualifying run. But here, fighting the clock once again. We'll see if he can make it back in time.
Yeah, at this point, he's got about 1 more minute left on the clock to get in and get to that line. Or else we're going to have to keep the show going on without him here, so hopefully he'll get in. But it doesn't usually take this long to reload into a server, so...
Obviously, Matthias located in Brazil. And there he is. He has made his way into the server. Now he's just got to make his way to the line.
He's got 1 minute, so hopefully he's able to manage his way over to the line within that one singular minute here.
A minute can go very quickly. Hopefully he'll get everything loaded up and going.
The connection of the drivers is on the drivers, as I do see Matthias. He is making his way over to the line now, so it looks like he is going to make it for his battle here. Just barely beating the clock. As he lines up to chase down Miles.
Well, here we go. An all S14 battle. Miles in the white hood. Matthias in the black. Almost synonymous of the old Warthouse days in FD. But here we go. White light flashes. Who's going to take it? Miles in the lead. Matthias giving chase. Fighting a little bit of a deficit here, but fires onto the door. Miles coming around to outside zone 2. Matthias right there with him. Not letting up, but a little bit of a tire drop there from Miles. Able to recover and get it recouped on track, but Matthias not letting up. Firing right into the pocket and right on his door across the line. Not a bad, too terrible of a run by either driver here. We'll get them flipped around. We'll see Miles in the chase, Matthias in the lead.
Yeah, we'll say a little bit of a conversation going on in the back end side of things right this second. Looks like drivers are at the line ready to go here. Gonna be Matthias to lead out Miles this time around. As here we go, Matthias in the lead, initiates in. Very good angle and backs it into that zone. Miles in the chase position here, not putting that car where it's gotta go. As they bring it around outside zone number 2, he is cleaning up a little bit, and it looks like maybe some contact there from Miles in the chase. Sending Matthias into the wall, possibly. Not able to really rein that car in behind him. Again, Matthias, not the fastest driver that we've seen here. And it is the chase driver's responsibility to keep your car slowed down behind the lead. So it could be coming into effect here. We'll see what happens as the judges make their decision.
Indeed, looking back on the replay here, just see a little correction in angle from Matthias, but looks like Miles was not expecting that and just was holding his angle in a little bit of contact. Be interested to see how the judges decide that. That contact definitely going to be playing a role in the decision. We'll just have to wait and see. As we take it to the judges' sliders. And most likely one they'll probably be deliberating on, make sure they watch all the angles and make the right decision.
Yeah, one of the things that they're going to have to watch out for here, was it a over rotation in the lead, or was he just throwing on more angle there? To me, gotta admit, it did look like he was just adding a little bit of angle there to keep the car off of the wall. And in a situation like that for Miles in the chase, that's, you know, your responsibility as a chase driver is to mimic the lead and expect sudden movements out of them sometimes. You know, the lead driver has the right of way and you cannot impede on them.
I'd have to agree. Miles wasn't really matching angle through outside zone 2, especially coming out of that zone neither. So could easily go both ways, but we'll see which way the judges fall, as we already have 2 answers in, just waiting on that final one. Here we are. Slide him left for Matthias, right for Miles. Here's one. There's two, and it's going to be unanimous. Miles going to be advancing through, putting fault on that contact on Matthias. But just a little bit of a change there. Judge one going one more time. But at the end of the day, Miles still moving on through. Judges deeming that an over rotation coming out of outside zone 2, causing the contact. And they do have all the data on that. They have a line map showing where the tires are, what angle you're at. They got all the data, all the angles to look at all that. So definitely using the resources at hand to their advantage.
Yeah, it looks
to
like
make
the
the right
actual call there made by the judges was that Matthias slammed on left foot brake to correct the angle there. So when you do something like that, that's going to cause you to be at fault in the lead. Unfortunately for Matthias getting knocked out here.
Very unfortunate, but how about Miles making it on through? Qualifying 18th and still able to make it through to the top 4. But who will be his opponent? Will it be Lester or will it be Diaz? Two great chase drivers. We'll see what they can do here at Englishtown. Two different S chassis. Lester driving that S15 in the lead. Diaz in the chase with the S13. White light flashes. Here we go. Firing out of the gate. Hucks it in. Lester Dragon Bolter. But Diaz not exactly matching angle, but he goes off. He goes off into the grass, but Lester still powering through outside zone 2, not filling that zone to perfection. But running away here from Diaz as he throws it in, tries to put it on his door, and he will with a little bit of contact across the line. But man, a little bit of a mistake there from Diaz.
Yeah, that is not what we want to see at all, and I'm sure the judges agree with that one there. Very unfortunate situation for Diaz going into the second half of this battle. We're going to get him switched around now. Diaz is going to be leading out Lester this time around. Talk about consistency. We'll have to see how consistent Lester can be in the chase. We'll have to see if maybe Diaz out in the lead can force a mistake on his chase driver. So here we go. Both drivers through the chicane. Lester chasing him down now. Diaz in the lead, initiating in. Pretty good on that initiation from Diaz up in the lead position. Lester chasing him down, trying to finesse the car into the pocket. Using the left foot brake to keep himself steady, and look at that, there goes Lester using a little bit of angle again. Something that we never thought we'd see as a transition for the last time here. And Diaz with a clean lead here. Unfortunately, I think the errors that we saw in the first half of this battle, that might be all she wrote for one of our drivers here.
Possibly a little bit of a mistake there as we look back at the replay on Lester's chase going into outside zone 3. Just looks like the car gripped up and he couldn't hold on to the angle and almost got into the side of Diaz. Luckily, he was able to keep it off of him. As we look back here, right there, we'll see him start to shallow up some angle. But could have been disastrous, but able to make it across the line unscathed, both drivers. We'll take a look back over at the judges sliders. They already got some decisions in. I think they kind of have a clear-cut decision in their mind. It'll be Diaz, Lester, slide them right. 1, 2, 3, it's going to be unanimous. Lester moving on through. Diaz, just a mistake, a little too big. But we'll take a look back at how things are shaking up now. We're going to be seeing Anthony Taylor take on Edvinus. And we'll see Miles take on Lester. Who's going to be vying for the top spot of the podium? Or who's going to be slugging it out for third?
Yeah, but don't go anywhere because our drivers are already, I believe, on their way up to the line right now to come and battle it out here. So we get our final 4 underway. Very unfortunate result there for Mr. Diaz. Lester just doing what it takes, knocking him out. Unfortunately, that chase run gonna really bite him a little bit. But right now, all eyes are on the start line as we've got Anthony Taylor of Team Lock to Lock getting ready to lead out Edvinus, also of Lock to Lock, an all Lock to Lock battle here in the final 4. Let's see which one of these guys comes out on top, and then we'll have to see who they're going to go against in the next battle here.
Indeed, certainly no stranger to these lock-to-lock team battles. But we'll see who will stand victorious as Anthony Taylor throws it in. Massive angle. But Venus right there with him, using that speed to his advantage. But a little tap is going to send Anthony Taylor a tire off, but able to recoup. But Venus not backing down, trying to get comfortable in that pocket as he slots it in there for outside zone 3 and across the line. Not a bad chase from Venus, but a few things to clean up.
Yeah, definitely not the cleanest. We've seen better, for sure, especially out of these guys both. Now Anthony Taylor to chase down Venus here. Very curious to see how this is going to go. Seems like Venus has been able to pull a lot of favors out of his chase drivers by them making mistakes today. See what happens here. Venus now to lead out Anthony Taylor. OGP round 5, your final 4 lock-to-lock team battle. Initiating in, very nicely done up in the lead position by Venus, but Anthony Taylor unable to be shaken as they're making their way now through outside zone number 2. Managing to keep those cars off of the wall, and Venus collecting that inside clip absolutely perfect. Bringing it around outside zone number 3, a little bit of distance originally between Anthony Taylor, but able to pull his way back up to Venus towards the end of that run, as Venus just kind of throws it a little bit crazy over the finish line there.
So you take a look back at the replay here, you can kind of see the difference in each driver's chases. Venus using the speed to his advantage, trying to be aggressive, get as close as he can to the door. But Anthony Taylor just keeping it nice and smooth, slowly laying on the proximity through the zones. We'll be interested to see how the judges score this and who will be advancing on through. But at the end of the day, it will be a lock-to-lock driver. Augie definitely have to be happy with the way things are going.
Yeah, we'll say Augie been collecting these guys like Thanos collecting the Infinity Stones lately. Tons and tons of drivers heading over to that team right now. But, you know, it's one of those things where if you want a good team and you want to have your name in places, you got to have good drivers helping you along the way. Team Lock-to-Lock definitely doing just that.
Especially with their new addition, Maddie Spies.
Absolutely.
You got it right, absolutely. But with their new addition, Maddie Spies, I'll be interested to see how he develops. Definitely a good driver with a lot of talent, but needs to just kind of put some of the pieces all together. Unfortunately, going out top 32 today, but we know you got it in him. We'll see how he can bounce back for round 6, but he's got a good team, a lot of good drivers, be able to get a lot of good seat time. But we're starting to get some of these decisions on through. Who will it be? 1 vote for Anthony Taylor. It's going to be 2. Will it be unanimous? Yes, Anthony Taylor moving on through. The clean chase prevails. But Venus down but not out. Still has an opportunity to fight for 3rd place. But we'll have to see who he goes up against and who will be taking on Anthony Taylor in the final. We'll just have to wait and see as we get our next 2 drivers up to the line. Will it be Miles or will it be Lester? Miles with a long road to get here. Qualifying 18th, but he somehow found his way here in the final 4. Going to be going up against Lester. And if you're in Miles' situation here, Strep, what's going through your mind?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I don't know what's going on through Miles' mind right now, but I can tell you that in mine, my throat is destroyed right now. Well, I really hope that what's going on in his mind is that he's going to beat the pants off of Lester, and that Lester's thinking he's going to beat the pants off of him. Because the sooner we get over, the sooner I get to go take my medicine. But here we go.
Here we go indeed. Miles throwing it in. Lester right there with him. Miles dropping a tire there, though. Be interested to look back at that at the replay, but Lester not settling back. He's right there with him, keeping good proximity to his door as they flurry into outside zone 3. Lester not letting up. Right there with him. cross the line. How about these two drivers as my drone messing up throughout that run, and I'm having to try and figure out what's going on with it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I just got word that the New Jersey government actually shot your drone out of the sky. It was unregistered with the FAA, and that's not legal, sir. So you're gonna have to get yourself a new way of watching. But right now, it's all eyes on Lester out in the lead position. Will he be able to do something similar to his earlier runs? And what will Miles be able to do in the chase position? Both of these guys, engines are revving, tensions are high, drivers are ready to go. Lights are on. There's the white light. Miles very eager to chase him down. Lester out in the lead position, initiates in. Big gap between the two of them out of the start. Lester having to use left foot brake through the entire first zone to keep that car in place, and looks like using a lot of it to keep that car checked up in outside zone 2, but does clean it up towards the end of it as he picks up that inside clip now. Miles with a bit of a hesitation on the transition, chasing him down there, going through the transition outside zone 3, but a clean battle. No contact, no major mistakes going on here by the looks of things. Let's see what the judges say as we take a look back at a replay here. One of the things I will say, we are seeing what looks like pretty consistent runs pretty much all night from Lester here, and he's showing that he's still doing it now. Same kind of runs he's been doing all day.
Showing that he is still Mr. Consistency. That title is yet to go away. As throwing it down, these two drivers absolutely putting on a show, burning it down. Tandem burnouts behind the judges' box here. Gotta love it. The mistake from Miles certainly gonna have to play a factor. But we will see as the judges start to slot in their decisions. Here we go. Slide them left for Lester, right for Miles. Got 1, 2. It's going to be unanimous. Lester moving on through to face Anthony Taylor in the finals. But Noah still has a chance here. No, not over. As he'll be taking on Ed Venus for a third place battle here.
We do have a chance of a possible double lock-to-lock podium here today. Will Noah be able to stop them from the sweep? We're going to find out right now. Ed Venus and Noah. Miles pulling up to the line, coming through the burnout box, getting ready to send it. Who's going to take home third? Who's going to pack it up in the trailer with no trophy? Let's take it to the line and let's find out.
Indeed, lock to lock. No stranger to the podium here. They always seem to have a driver there. Maybe sometimes two. But can they do it again? Or will Miles play a little bit of spoiler here? Just have to find out as we get ready to send both of these guys. At Venus in the lead. Miles going to be giving chase. Who will grab the bottom spot of that podium? Or who will, like Strep said, be packing it in the trailer, firing out of the gate? Here we go. Third place battle here at E-Town. Venus fires in, but Miles not too far behind, needs to close up a little bit of that proximity. Then at Venus dropping a tire in outside zone 2. Able to get things recuperated, but Miles finding his way into that pocket. Venus throwing it in, dropping another tire though, but Miles going off. Not able to bring it back into the zone. Massive mistake there in the chase. We'll have to see how both drivers rebound here.
Yeah, unfortunately, Noah Miles in the chase position started having mistakes right out of the gate with a very, very poorly timed initiation, which sent him way on an inside line there and caused him to lose proximity. So let's see what he can do in his lead position. Let's see if Venus can capitalize on those mistakes. Maybe he's got a spotter in his ear. Let's see what happens. It's now Miles leading at it. Oh, and there it goes. Miles gonna be dead in the wall. We are sending him home in a hearse, not the trailer. And Venus gonna go ahead and do a little bit of a celebratory run here. Finish it off, and unfortunately, that's going to seal the deal right now as Venus knows that he's celebrating it. Venus going to be taking home third place. First podium on the board right here for lock to lock. Now we just have to see which part of the podium the second lock to lock member is going to get. Or what's going to happen with Lester? Is Lester going to take it all the way to the top? maybe he's going to find that angle that he's been missing his entire career, and he's going to put something down on Mr. Anthony Taylor. Or maybe Anthony Taylor is going to continue to dominate and absolutely send Lester packing it home with that second place trophy. Because as they once said, very, very wise words, if you ain't first, you're last.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Lester, no stranger to these types of battles, as we saw him take victory last round. We'll see if he can't do it again. He was able to best Anthony Taylor at Mondello. Can he do it here at E-Town? Or will Anthony Taylor continue his streak of dominance as they fire into outside zone 1, door to door? Lester right there with him, trying to play aggressive, needs to be right there with him. He knows what Anthony Taylor can do. He needs to find all of that consistency and put it into this run. But bumper to bumper on transition, they're leaving nothing on the table as contact, pushing him across the line. What a battle we have here today.
Yeah, unfortunately, there were some mistakes from Lester in that chase position. A couple of spots where he lost proximity and had to correct himself. However, still putting on a very good aggressive chase run. But Anthony Taylor in the lead, man. Oh my goodness, the guy is just so consistent, knows what he's doing, knows how to handle his car. But now he's got to chase down Lester, the consistency king. As Lester out in the lead position initiates into that Nissan S15 Silvia. Anthony Taylor a little far behind here. Definitely don't want to give Lester all that room, and he does bring it back up to Lester's door on that transition. And there it is right now, putting that tire on the door of Lester is Anthony Taylor through the inside clip. Transitioning through for the last time, and it honestly looks like Lester had better proximity in the chase over Anthony Taylor's chase run there. So we might see an upset. We might see what everyone is thinking at home. Or we might even see these guys go one more time.
We'll just have to wait and find out. Very similar kind of run that we saw between Edvinus and Anthony Taylor. Anthony Taylor taking the kind of smoother approach to his chase, allowing himself a little bit of space, and then sucking it up to the door throughout the zone. Lester playing that aggressive role, but we got some judges already slotting their scores in. Just waiting on that final judge. Slide them left for Lester, right for Anthony Taylor. Who will be taking the crown here at E-Town? Put your guys' predictions in the chat. We'd love to hear from you as anticipation builds. And we got all of our answers in. 1 for Anthony Taylor, 2 for Anthony Taylor. It's going to be unanimous. Anthony Taylor does it again. Lester, unfortunately, not able to play spoiler. Anthony Taylor retaining his top spot in the standings and showing why he's the best here at Oversteer Grand Prix.
Another absolutely wonderful showing by Anthony Taylor. Such a dominant performance here at E-Town. And honestly, I got to admit, Lester absolutely crushing it today. No slouch in his own right. And of course, rounding out the podium at Venus with a very, very good battle to secure that third place finish. Had some demons today, but you know what? At the end of the day, if you can overcome your demons, you can still take home one of them podium spots. So that's going to wrap things up here at Oversteer Grand Prix Round 5 at Englishtown, New Jersey. And you guys got to stay tuned, because we do have some pretty cool stuff coming up for the last round. Still got to announce that yet, so stay tuned. Make sure you join our Discord server. Follow the Instagram at oversteer.gp. These drivers going to go ahead, send it for a celebratory 3-man here. We'll see if they're able to throw it down correctly. Just lay out and listen in here. Oh, and contact over the line.
Oh, man.
We get the 360 from our winner, Anthony. Oh, and we get him from everybody else, too. The production team is ready to flex. Oh, there it is. Event winner, Anthony Taylor, seated number 1, with Lester, our number 3 seed, taking second place, and Venus from the 20th seed, making it all the way to 3rd. What do you think, Riley? What do you think about the way this event ended today?
I mean, you'll see it right there. It was truly a battle of attrition. A lot of these drivers struggling through qualifying had to find themselves facing some tough battles. Venus, definitely one of those drivers, able to find his way onto the podium. Also, shout out to Miles, able to find his way into fourth. That's a pretty difficult undertaking. He had to beat a lot of drivers today that were extremely talented. I mean, look at that. Look at the road he had to take. Young Ramirin, our number 2 qualifier, going right back to Matthias. 2 great drivers, absolutely throwing it down. And just a great hand to all of our drivers for being here today. You know, we didn't have a full top 32, but we certainly appreciate all the guys who are here week in and week out. They certainly put on the best show imaginable for us. And it certainly makes it fun to be here. But Strep, you got anything else to add before we close out for the rest of the night?
You know what? The only thing that I got to add, I'm going to say it. I'm going to be the one who says it. I think that Legacy is right and the judges hate seeing a cracker with a little bit of motion. I'm saying it. I'm calling him out right now.
Man.
Judges hate a cracker with motion, and that's okay because we got a lot of crackers with motion. We got a lot of people with motion in general going on today. And when I tell you guys that this round 6 announcement is going to be super insane, we're talking full custom track stuff going on. These guys are going to be battling like it's ancient Rome up in here. Full on absolute devastation and chaos. Who's going to take it home? Who's going to be the champion? I think we might all know the answer to that already based on some of the standards. And who's going to get this wall right here? You'll know what that means once we get there. But you know what, Riley? I'm feeling pretty good. I think E-Town was a very great round. And I'm excited to see what these guys have coming up for the next one. But for now, that's going to be us signing out to all of you guys. Everybody have a wonderful night and enjoy having to go to work tomorrow.
Slam limiter down the hill. Exactly what he's known for. Nice run, nice, beautiful run. And a little 360 to boot, keep it on the trail. Power down, letting that engine sing, beautifully done.
Welcome back, everyone. Oversteer Grand Prix brings us all the way to Ireland for round 4. Here at Mondello, we expect a forecast of clear skies, a little bit of sunshine, but a whole lot of tire smoke.
Sound waves reaching the microphone are changed into impulses of electric current.
No need to worry about your pre-recorded music tapes being accidentally erased. It can't happen.
Be surprised if we see ourselves a new leader.
The theme is art.